The manhwa starts. A man says that he desperately wishes to live. We learn that his name is Kim Yisak, and he has been diagnosed with a rare disease. The doctors say it's something they've never seen before, and it will likely be named after him. We see Yisak getting the bad news that he doesn't have much longer to live, as he desperately clenches onto his diagnosis paper. He has half a year to live at the most. He stands still in the middle of a crosswalk, and people continuously bump into him, and he just says there's no way this is how it goes. People wonder what's wrong with him. Yisak says that all he's done his whole life is live as a diligent worker ant, and it finally seemed to be on the up. We see the crosswalk is now red, and the cars start honking, but he's still taking his time. Somebody tells him to get out of the road, it's dangerous, and they push him and he falls to his hands and knees. He says that to be told he has months to live, and this is unfair, especially on the day that he won the lottery jackpot and he wants to live so bad, he'll do anything for it. He begins crying, holding onto his lottery ticket, and screams, begging that somebody can save him from death. He says that he knows that's what he said, but he didn't literally mean he was okay with being turned into something like this. Out of everything he could have possibly reincarnated into, he turned into a bald skeleton, and he can't even enjoy the worst parts of living in this body. Some monsters start running at him from behind, and he turns, tightening the grip on his blade. He swings, cutting them into pieces, and he says that he has to make sure to kill them all. Blood starts to drip off of his sword, and he hears some loud footsteps, and turns to see a giant creature reaching its palm towards him. He leaps up off the ground, avoiding it, now looking down at the monster, and he begins to grin, saying that he can finally be done with this bullshit. And he yells, telling the monster to die as he comes through, cutting its head off, hitting that superhero pose, and he says that that was the last of them. With this, the entire rebellious force has all been eliminated, so now he is free. He explains that after he got reincarnated as a skeleton, an inferior class summon monster, he evolved into an undead lich. He brought prosperity to demon kind, who were on the brink of ruination, and he may not have any hair, but at least he's the great demon king. But of course, because they're monsters, they can't pronounce his name, and they keep calling him Isaac instead of Yisak. And even though he tells them so many times that that is not his name, they obviously can't pronounce it. But to these idiots who can't even pronounce his name, this is farewell to them. They ask where he's going, and he says to get what he's owed, as his final goal is to be able to eat, and even feel pain by once again becoming a human so he can do the things that he desires. It jumps to somewhere very bright, the opposite of where he has been, and we see the monster's head thrown onto the floor. A lot of the gods look worried, but of course Yisak is smiling, and we are introduced to the divine realm. As we see them all sitting in their thrones, he says that with this, he's taken care of all the factions challenging the gods, and he hopes they haven't forgotten their promise. As written in their contract, they should turn him into a human. They start whispering, saying that they thought it would take him at least 500 years, asking what kind of nut job he is. This was a scheme the higher-ups cooked up to make him a slave for free. Yisak says he can hear them, and he asks why they are dragging this out. They said that they'd turn him into a human if he did his job, and he did what they asked. One of the gods asks if he could just do one more thing, and he wonders if they really think he's some empty-headed skull. He grits his teeth, asking if they are trying to take him for some kind of pushover, and that he will get what he's owed, gods or not. He screams, asking if they made him do all that when they didn't have a way to turn him into a human to begin with. The gods say he's noticed, and this is why they were against it from the start. He asks if that's really all they have to say for themselves. And because he's a being summoned through a forbidden art, he's outside the bounds of the natural laws, which makes him unperishable. He can't die from old age because he's undead, and his abilities also make him a threat, even to the divine realm. If they can't turn him into a human, he has no use for them. They plead with him, saying that he should just give them time, and if he does a few more things, they could probably do it. He says they've already failed their promise, and he's not giving them any second chances. Now they'll have to pay for it with their lives. It's time for them to all become skeletons just like him, and he begins laughing while charging up a spirit bomb. They start screaming while watching his aura swirl around violently in the room, and we see it forming a little purple orb above his hands. He continues to laugh, thinking that he's about to get some sweet revenge, but then it completely disappears, and he wonders what's going on, as his mana is fading, and he can't move his body. One of the gods speaks up, saying that that was pretty futile, and the one whose name is written here cannot move no matter who they are. We see that he actually wrote down Isaac instead, and that it's a spell called Banish Disaster. It's the highest class holy art used to seal disasters like himself, and he should have been thankful that they let him do their bidding, asking how a dared demon defied them, and he should live as a bug. He says surely they could have picked a fuzzy caterpillar or something, and the god asks why he obsesses so much over hair, calling him such a lowly creature. The bug then begins to shine brightly in the god's hand, and he wonders what's going on, and Isaac continues to laugh, saying they should have been quicker and never revealed their hands. And he'd rather blow himself up than become another puppet of theirs. They yell, telling him to wait and stop. Then he tells them to eat shit, calling them idiots as he explodes right in the middle of the room, sending out a super colorful rainbow aura, which we can even see the explosion from the outside of their giant tower. It looks as if none of the gods died, but they ask if he's insane for self-destructing, and they wonder if their spell worked by turning him into a bug. One of the gods gets super close to it, saying that he thinks the spell indeed activated, and his soul has been sealed. Now, with the Demon King gone, they should be able to regain their powers. And every time a demon disappears, they become stronger and stronger, but they can't let their guard down yet. And they don't know when another disaster of the same kind might be born. And they're going to create a perfect vessel of a saint in the human realm, and exterminate every last demon there is. One of the gods asks the other if he's okay, since hell exhausts a lot of his powers. He says not to worry about it, and just to select a proper soul to put in the body of the saint. And as for the Demon King, he's going to torture him as a bug for all of eternity. Then we hear Yisak's thoughts, saying that he must have lost his mind, and he can't believe it. Maybe he got stupid because he was a brainless skeleton, but for some reason it's so bright. He wonders if he can even cover up his eyes with his hands. But when he raises them, he wonders what the hell he's looking at, as they're short and fat little Vienna sausages. He says that this is a body of a human, wondering if his wish actually came true, and that maybe the gods messed up the seal somehow. One of the nurses calls him the Holy One, telling the rest that the saint has opened his eyes. They ask if he's woken from his nap, and another one says that it would have been nice if he kept sleeping. Yisak wonders if they are his nannies, and if he truly has become human. And one of the nurses says that it can't be helped, since he feels a little bad, and they have to do their job. And they know he's just awoken, but he needs to fall back asleep forever in peace, as they might be holding a bottle of poison. Yisak looks worried, saying to wait as he just died, and he wonders if he's supposed to just sit here and die yet again. The dude apologizes once more, saying he's going to put him to sleep forever, as he starts to put the bottle to his lips. Yisak turns to his left and they try again. So he does the right and then they try once more. He puts his hand up to stop. Then they ask why he's not eating it. Yisak asks if they're kidding him, saying that he's finally become a human, and there's no way he would drink something so suspicious, but he wonders how he became a human in the first place. They tell him to please eat like a baby should and sleep forever. Or rather, sleep soundly, calling him Sir Isaac. Yisak's surprised, asking if he just called him Isaac. And they say it's the other pronunciation of his real name, and when they use the spell Banish Disaster to seal him away, maybe they wrote Isaac instead, and that must be why he didn't get sealed, and he reincarnated into a different body with the same name. He starts laughing, saying that they thought they'd won, but now they've failed to seal him away. And then one of the nannies shoves the bottle into his mouth, and Yisak realizes this is bad. He starts shaking, and they just wonder why the hell a baby is so strong. He asks if this flavor is vegetable juice, saying it tastes like ass, and if this is really how he's gonna die even though he just became a human. His vision starts to go blurry, as he says he can feel something ominous entering his body. We learn we are in the Holy Empire, Hela. In the Central East Temple we see a man walking around, smiling evilly, saying that the baby should be meeting his end right now. Someone else says that the bishop seems quite lively. In return, we are introduced to the Emperor of the Holy Empire, named Alexander Heathcliff Hela. The bishop greets him, and Alexander asks what business he is here. The bishop says they've come to greet the saint. Alexander says he makes it sound like a burden by saying that he must be present because it's the saint, but wouldn't there be a problem if something went wrong again? After the saint candidate who left was killed? Then he hears someone screaming. Alexander turns, worried, and the bishop starts to grin. They all start running in, asking what's happening to the young master. One of the nannies says that this is insane, and Alexander fears for the worst, but she only says that he's way too cute, and look at how plump his belly is, and that he's such a cute little angel. The bishop says this is impossible, that he's still alive even after drinking that much. Because it's not just vegetable juice, and we get a flashback to a few minutes ago, when Yisak could feel something ominous entering his body. He then realizes what it actually was, and that it's holy poison. It's a devastating poison that destroys the holy power of the clergy. It doesn't have any immediate effects, but because it's poison, it becomes deadly if too much accumulates in the body. However, the poison is made from the mana of demons. So as the former demon king, this is just perfect. And giving things made from mana to a demon like him is just amazing. And hell, eat it all up and treat it as baby food. He then starts screaming. Obviously he can't speak, so he's in goo goo gaga, asking for more bottles, and the nannies say they're starting to understand him. One of them says that the poison, rather the vegetable juice, won't show its effects immediately, and Yisak gives them the thumbs up, saying that this is perfect. Mana absorption, he doesn't know who made it, but it's pretty good, and now he understands what he has to do from now on. As he closes his eyes, he says he needs to enter the world beyond the conscious mind, which is called the unconscious world. And in the deepest part of it, at the very source, hell create himself a mana core. He lands, saying that because this space is safe. And now he can focus, as we see an orb in his hands. He says that he needs to put the mana he absorbed into the core, and he needs a core to be able to use magic later, so he wants to prepare first. And then he starts to suffer from a mana explosion. But he's surprised by something, asking what this is, saying that a mana core should be one of the 3 primary colors, but for some reason, his is white. Rather, the color isn't the problem. He wonders how this much power can be present inside a small core that is not even fully developed yet. And he grins, saying that this is truly beyond his expectations. As he walks forward through the aura, heading towards the core, he asks how many blessings were created in this young body. And if he grows this well, he might be able to become a much greater monster than he was even capable of in his past life. We see him writing the words Isaac on his core, and survive right underneath it. And he says that's his most desperate desire. No matter what, he wanted to survive, and both of these spells were inherited in this body. So even if he's the former demon king, hell, make the most out of it. The nannies wonder if maybe he's dead now, and the woman says to check him, and Yisak raises his finger up, and they say that he's not dead yet. I'm gonna start calling him Isaac from now on. He starts speaking in goo goo gaga, and of course, it's him asking for an even stronger bottle. And now we're back to the present, and Alexander says it's a relief, saying that nothing bad happened. And then Isaac says although he nearly got assassinated, it is actually pretty relieving. He then looks over at the bishop, who looks horrified, and he wonders why he looks like that, saying that maybe he ate way too much. No matter what, he can't afford to be suspicious, so he just has to smile, which he starts doing at the bishop. The bishop's just scared, asking what the hell is his deal. He should be dying, as he coughs up blood, but instead, he's sitting there laughing at him. And he starts to feel angry as well, but still a little worried. A few days prior, at the headquarters of the Holy Church, we hear a dude saying that whoever becomes the saint will possess the empire, as an absolute joke. And it's why they're all declaring one of their children to be the saint, and those pesky little noble families are getting in their way. We see the bishop telling him not to worry, and that they're dealing with the other saint candidates right now. The dude says that's good. And he says that he happened to hear a very unpleasant rumor. They say that a saint candidate appeared from House Ashwa, and he almost breaks his chalice. And he says that this is bad, because House Ashwa is the emperor's right hand. The bishop says there's nothing they can do about them, and the dude throws his cup to the ground, saying that he probably died before he got there, and he just needs him to go verify the corpse. And he acted first to ensure his death. The saint can only come from his house of Barrett, and we are introduced to the cardinal named Harry Barrett. The bishop says that he was told the baby would be dead, so why is he still alive? And this can't go on like this. Alexander says this is interesting, and his shiny platinum blonde hair sure is iconic, and that the Holy Emperor's founder had the same hair color. Isaac looks up at him, realizing he's the emperor, and Alexander says he looks even closer to God than the current pope, and he must be the final saint candidate. Isaac is surprised by the fact that this baby is the saint candidate, and no wonder they kept calling him saint. The bishop realizes the emperor is starting to favor the child, and he can't let this be, and he says that he would like to inspect the child. Alexander asks why, and the bishop says that something is odd. There's no way a baby could finish that vegetable juice. Alexander asks what's strange about a saint candidate eating monk's food. Isaac is just depressed, asking how the demon king could become the saint candidate. And Alexander tells him that he can only proceed once someone from House Ashwa arrives. Isaac then burps up some demonic energy, and he realizes that he might have made a mistake, and he looks over, wondering if he's busted, as the bishop is putting his hand closer towards Isaac, calling out to Alexander, saying that he just sensed demonic energy from this child, and that this sure is strange. Isaac says that this bastard has noticed, and he looks a bit worried. The bishop says that this child may be a fake candidate bearing mana, and he must have an inquisitor investigate him immediately. Alexander asks how dare he, reminding him that he's talking about a saint candidate. The bishop tells him there's no need for his concern, as the Pope already selected the child from House Barrett as the saint. Alexander says that he picked one from his own house, and that sure is shameless. And now, Isaac understands why they're trying to get rid of him. The bishop picks him up out of the bed, saying that he will go order the priest and bring an inquisitor. Alexander sticks his hand out, telling him to wait, seeing that House Ashwa is the imperial family's closest ally, and as the emperor, he highly suggests that they reassess the child at a later date. The bishop says he understands that he spoke with the Pope already, and that he mentioned he would hold the ceremony of investiture for the crown prince only after the saint selection. Alexander realizes that he plans to refuse to officially recognize his son unless he agrees with his saint choice, and asks if this is the Holy Church's intention. Isaac says that, to be honest, he doesn't want to remain a saint candidate and it's too risky, as his true identity could be revealed. The bishop says that otherwise, they couldn't inspect the child immediately using their holy exorcism art. Isaac tightens his grip on the bottle, and the bishop says that if he truly is a human, then he will not be harmed, and if he is a demon, hell be exterminated. Only for him to get clocked straight in the face by the bottle, to the point that even a tooth falls out, and Isaac just sits there smiling evilly, speaking in babble, calling him an arrogant son of a bitch, saying that hell play along with his game. The bishop asks how a simple bottle could be so powerful, and everybody else as well says that that light could be holy power, and that he is the true saint. The bishop says that he also senses holy power from him, but this is too different, and Isaac begins to imbue the bottle once more, and raises it, giving him a second smack across the face, asking what he's going to do about this. And then, he just continues absolutely smacking the piss out of this dude over and over, and the bishop says that this is most definitely mana. And Alexander just looks happy at this, and Isaac says hell make the bottle even tougher with strengthening magic, and give him one final hit while pretending to be just an innocent little baby. The bishop falls to his knees, and everybody says that he's just admiring his holy power. Isaac just wonders what this feeling is, as every time he uses mana, he senses a faint amount of holy power as well, and since they are incompatible, and can't be cast together normally, this must have something to do with that white mana core. The bishop then grabs onto the bottle, stopping him, and he glares at Isaac and throws the bottle to the floor, saying that he pledges this with everything he is, that the baby is a heretic, and they must use the holy exorcism art. Isaac calls him slimy for this, and he says he didn't plan to go this far, but oh well. Then he reaches into the bishop's robe, pulling something out, saying that he was hiding something quite interesting in here. As we see some kind of demonic hand, the bishop is surprised, and the bishop explains that it's a high-sealed, high-ranking demon's corpse, in other words, a totem. It is an artifact that utilizes the characteristics of demons, who eat corpses of other demons to absorb their mana. And he was keeping this totem on him at all times, in case he ever encountered demons to use against them. But he wonders how the hell Isaac knew about this totem, as we see him smiling evilly. He then throws it past the bishop. As it starts to land on the floor, Isaac tells him to watch carefully, saying this is all because he kept trying to mess with him. As the hand slowly unravels, it begins to release more and more demonic energy. Isaac says this is the consequence of his actions. He then snaps his fingers, as a demonic monster begins to form from the hand. Everybody screams, and Isaac actually hits him with the parry, "This, you filthy casual" line. Alexander asks the bishop what the hell he is doing, asking how he could let a demon loose in the temple, wondering if he's lost his mind. The bishop asks if he didn't see it, saying that the baby was loading through the totem. Alexander tells him that a totem is just an object used to seal a demon beast, so how did it come back to life? He then commands all forces to protect the young lord from the wicked demon and the bishop. They say yes sir as they run in, snatching Isaac out of his hands. The bishop looks confused, asking how this could be, while Isaac laughs at him since he's taken a W this round, saying that the joke is on him. He wants to see how good this bishop truly is. As they all start putting their swords up to the demon just says that it needs to kill the saint over and over until it fully blows and screams it, making Isaac confused as it starts flying directly towards him now. All of the men run up, blocking its path, saying that they need to protect the young lord. Isaac wonders what's wrong with this thing. He saved its life, so why is it trying to attack him? But still, it should be okay, as the paladins can easily protect him. Of course, that is not the case whatsoever. As one of them gets instantly defeated, he wonders if that's actually a paladin. The demon continues, saying that it's going to kill the saint and save the captured king. Isaac says he should probably subjugate it first. No one should notice him using magic in a situation like this either. As the demon starts to fly in towards him, he still just wonders why everyone is trying to kill him in this life, even though he is the one who revitalized the demon. His eyes then start to glow red, and he starts releasing mad killing intent, saying that it is one stupid demon for not recognizing its leader. The demon immediately recognizes it as the Skeleton King, asking what's going on because the Demon King shouldn't be here. At the same time, Isaac is releasing a golden aura, blinding everyone, and they turn, surprised, looking at it, and it's to the point that the demon has to put up its hands, as it realizes it's starting to be disintegrated. It screams, flying out of the room. Everybody says the demon beast is escaping, and that was definitely holy power, and that the young lord drove a greater demon out. They start laughing, saying that even at such a young age, he sure is amazing. Isaac is confused as he looks down at his hands, wondering what exactly this is. As this is true holy power, he wonders how he is using it, and realizes he has run out of mana. Saying that this strange body is turning his mana into holy power, he wonders how he is supposed to accumulate it then, as the Holy Empire already lacks mana. The bishop tells everybody to unhand him, calling them fools. He says the baby is a heretic that uses the powers of demons, asking how dare he crawl into the Holy Empire. The bishop begs, saying that he will prove it by uncovering the real identity with an exorcism. Alexander tells the bishop that is more than enough, saying that he is accusing a saint candidate. He also let a greater demon loose before the Imperial Knights, and will absolutely not let this matter go, even if he is from the Holy Church. The bishop says that if the emperor is suspicious, then they will find out about the infiltrator sooner or later. If that happens, the Holy Church could be in trouble. Even if he must die to take responsibility for what happened, he must save the lives of his family, which is why he must at least kill the saint candidate of House Ashwa, as he summons some kind of divine beast with a giant magic circle. It starts running towards Isaac, but Isaac only sighs, saying that he is finally showing his true colors. He wonders if he really thinks something like this can truly kill him. But as soon as it leaves the ground, he forgets that he doesn't have any mana left. A blue attack comes out from the side, hitting it directly in the throat, and a man asks how dare they try to lay their hands on the direct lineage of Ashwa. They recognize them as the Blue Faith, which are the Ashwa Knights, and this is the seventh son of the House of Ashwa, named Relai. Relai tells everybody to execute the bishop. Immediately Isaac watches, thinking about the name Ashwa, saying that he's heard this name before. Relai tells everybody to show their manners as they all start bowing in front of Isaac and Ashwa, and they greet him. He apologizes to Isaac for being late, and Isaac says they are actually better than the Imperial Knights. Relai tells him it's not much, but they brought a present for him. Isaac wonders if it's going to be gold or something else valuable, as what he pulls out is none other than a little figurine of the Demon King being beheaded, and he looks super happy to show it to him, but Isaac can't believe they've turned him into some kind of toy like this. They also have one where the Skeleton King is being burned to death, and one where the saint is crushing the Demon King as well. Why is she so big though? They start saying his reactions are super cute, whereas Isaac is just crying, asking how he's supposed to live in a crazy house like this when everybody just hates him. He thinks about it again, saying the name Ashwa, and says that he remembers now it is the generation of saintesses that came to end him, and that every single saintess that would come to fight him, such as the 45th, the 64th, the 61st, and so on, all had the last name of Ashwa. And he says that not only is he a saint candidate, he's also in the family of the saintess, and he wonders what wrongs he committed in his past life. The bishop yells, saying that it's all because of the damn Ashuas, and one of them tells him to calm down. He says he knew they were all heretical bastards, asking where they brought that creature from, as he plans to uncover the thing's real identity. Rely grabs his blade, as the bishop continues yelling that they're all insane as he vows to end the bloodline here. His throat gets slit, and he falls onto his knees. Rely tells him to be grateful for the benevolence of Ashwa that spared his neck after he said all that nonsense. Isaac says he's useful and he slashed his neck only because he insulted his family, and he's got the confidence to take on the Holy Church. Everybody starts comforting Isaac, saying that he had to see something so terrible, and that he should only pay attention to the good things from now on. He says that they're all crazy, and he remembers now that the blue faith were all pretty strong, and his subordinates would freak out whenever they saw the people wearing blue. As they start tearing apart the little toys of the Demon King, he begs that they stop, and that he's sorry he didn't take all of his boy's warnings in his past life seriously. Alexander says it seems he owes the boy a debt, and he asks Rely if he would like to tell the head of his house that the Imperial Palace wants to raise the boy. Rely says that his jokes are too much, but Isaac's happy that he's being scouted by them. Alexander says the Holy Empire will target the boy both internally and externally, and that he knows this. While it's true that Ashwa is powerful, he doesn't know if the blue faith of the present has what it takes to protect this child. Rely looks a bit annoyed, but Isaac wonders what kind of tea he's drinking. Alexander says the Pope especially will disapprove of the boy, and the hair color he has is symbolic of the ancestors of the Holy Empire. Furthermore, the Demon King seems to be after him as well. Isaac says he's the Demon King, so why would he be after himself? Rely says he would like to apologize, but this child is one of the Ashwa bloodline, so he must be raised here by them. The Demon King was merciless and was undefeated by any of the saints or saintesses, as he never took LS. He never killed them, but the last saintess he fought, Melissa, was insanely strong, and the fact that he is a saint candidate born in the saintess family, while being Melissa's direct descendant, he wonders why his life is like this. If you wonder what a saintess is, it's something that the gods created when they lost to the Demon King every time because they wanted to win so bad, and they created a final weapon with all their efforts. A mace sent by the gods to smite evil. The lion of the battlefield that wields holy light. The greatest light of the Holy Empire and the highest-ranking knight. Due to the overwhelming power of the saintess, people believe that the Skeleton King had seen his final days. Saintesses have the attack and defense close to that of the gods. They also have cockroach-level survival and very long lives and a bunch of other perks. However, the Demon King was merciless to all of the saintesses, and he is never lost to a single one. But he never killed one, as it's not good for him to do so, because if one dies and the holy power goes back to the gods, they can just send an upgraded version. And the last saintess, Melissa, was hella strong, and he can't believe that's his ancestor. Rely says the saintess lives only for the destruction of the Demon King, and that Ashwa produces those candidates, and carries out the will of the gods very proudly, as that is their duty, and they have the ability to protect this child. One of the other blue faiths says he's right, and numerous saintesses have been martyred by the Skeleton King already. Isaac says he hasn't killed a single one, though, and that one day they were even banished to a labyrinth because the Demon King thought she wasn't good enough to fight. He says he let her go, and she just got lost with directions. Apparently, 5 of them died from stress-related diseases, and he blames them for that too, saying they should have just gone to a clinic. Rely says he's heard all the stories, and it doesn't matter to him if he's cursed or not, but of course Isaac's not okay with that. Rely's just happy he was born, and they only wish for one thing from him. He just doesn't want him to grow up like the terrible Demon King. Of course, that's exactly who he's holding on to, though, and he apologizes to the parents that he doesn't know. Alexander tells Rely to consider it again, and that it has been 150 years since the Demon King has been sealed away. Isaac says that if it's been that long, surely Melissa should have died a long time ago. She was 50 when they last fought. We learn that the demons have become more powerful in the meantime, and the saint is a great asset for the Holy Empire to increase its power, so the boy is important to the Imperial Palace as well. Furthermore, there is no saintess in Ashwa currently, as it has been a year since the saintess gave birth to the boy and disappeared with the father. He's surprised that his mother was the saintess. Rely says that may be true, but the matriarch still lives, and Ashwa can protect the boy. Isaac says that he needs to get all the surprises out of the way now, and he can't be more surprised than finding out that his mother is the saintess. He gets exactly that, as Alexander says that Melissa is currently out to destroy more demons, and Rely says she will return soon, as the matriarch is expecting her grandson as well. Isaac says she's over 200 years old, asking why she's still alive. Of course, it's a feature of being a saintess. Alexander says that it will take a lot of time before she is back, and the boy seems a bit weird, asking if it's okay. Riley says he should be fine, but of course, they would also be freaking out if they found out that their greatest enemies were alive. If he's found out by Melissa somehow, he'll be killed on the spot and other people might be okay, but Melissa is just that dangerous. He grabs onto Alexander's finger, realizing what he has to do to survive, and he speaks babble, begging that he take him with him. Alexander starts to feel super happy, saying surely Riley can see that he wants to go with him as well. Riley says he's just being clingy. Alexander says that the Imperial Palace can provide a lot for the young lord, and they may be at least a little bit of a help. They may be experienced in producing saintesses, but they have no experience in raising a saint, a boy. Riley says the child will become an exorcist knight that will vanquish evil. And Ashwa is a family that produces the greatest exorcist knights. He's the first ever saint. So the Imperial Palace has no experience with it either. They start playing tug of war with him, as everybody else tells them to calm down, or they're gonna rip him in half. Isaac just wants to go to the Imperial Palace since he doesn't want to die. When he looks over at Alexander, he sees a bright light saying that it's reacting to the origin of survival, and that light has been coming from him since the start. That means that his chances of survival with him are the highest, and he can't miss this opportunity. The light starts to get brighter and brighter, which surprises Isaac. But then, it jumps to somewhere else. The bishop is begging that he's innocent, and that the child used mana, so it's definitely a spawn of the demons. I'm pretty sure this is her in a robe, saying that holy power is from the gods themselves, asking if he's really saying that the gods have given holy power to a demon. The bishop says it was surely mana, asking how he could confuse the two. Harry says that the holy city doesn't like his tone, and he gets his throat cut for real this time. As the blood starts to fly, Harry tells him that was none other than blasphemy. One of his men says they'll form an assassination squad again, but Harry says there's no need, as the Emperor will want to take the child, and they will have plenty of opportunities in the Imperial Palace, and he will definitely not survive this time around. It jumps to Isaac picking at his ears as he's looking out the carriage window. The sun beams down on him. He says that right now he is going to Ashwa, which is not what he planned. And if you're wondering why, a few days ago when he saw the light, he wondered why it was. But it turns out that it was not from Alexander, but it was from Riley. Riley says that Ashwa is not a good environment to raise a child in, and he must think that they are a house that only houses mana cores and the corpses of demons. Isaac just wonders if that's the survival origin shining that brightly. He continues, saying the most precious thing they have is the body of the demon king. It's so bright now that even his face can't be seen. And Isaac's just surprised that they actually have his corpse, and they should have started with that. As he continues talking, he notices Isaac's hand grabbing onto his, and he starts speaking babble while giving him the thumbs up. But they can tell that he's super excited to go to Ashwa, and Riley almost dies of a heart attack on the spot. Back in the carriage, Isaac says that it's like he's giving up his life in the palace to go to the military. But it can't be helped since this will help him regain his old body. It's a body that he refined and accumulated mana in enough to fight against the gods. If he can just get back to his body, rank 10 will be nothing. And it's the first time he saw the light of the survival origin shine that brightly. It means following his uncle to Ashwa will benefit him greatly in regards to his survival. One of the dudes asks why the forces of the Holy Church are still gunning for the young master. Isaac says he's curious why he's such a big deal too. And Riley says that it's because the gods have given a prophecy that the saint will be taken in as the son of a god. That means he'll become the next pope, and that is why House Barrett is so desperate. Isaac wonders what's going on here, and he explains that the Pope is the strongest cleric, who uses rank 10 holy spells, practically the king of all clerics and paladins, an absolute being whose power rivals even that of this holy empire's emperor. House Barrett had birthed the Pope for thousands of years, but now that the Pope position will be taken by a saint, it's understandable they'd be up in arms about it. It's also why the other houses are trying so hard to birth the saint as well. The carriage then comes to a stop, which surprises them, and Riley leans out the window asking what's wrong. He says that they've arrived at the duchy, but they've encountered a problem, as the guards at the gate are refusing to give them entry, saying they are not allowed into the duchy. Isaac wonders what's going on, and Riley comes at the gate angry, asking if they're saying they don't recognize the insignia of House Ashwa, just wondering how they educate the people here. They laugh, saying of course they aren't going to let him enter, because they need to eliminate that child who inherited the blood of the saintess. And their bodies start to transform into demons. Isaac wonders what the hell this is, as he put a ban on attacking human territories, asking if the new demon king is stupid. One of the demons says that their glorious king has commanded that all saints and saintesses are to be killed, which shows Isaac that the new demon king is deathly dumb. But of course, for some reason, they say under the command of the great skeleton king, Lord Isaac, they will kill that saint. Of course, Isaac never told them to do this, and the demons continue saying that if they give up the child, they might spare their lives. The dude gets absolutely zapped, turning into ashes on the spot, while his homies call them cowardly paladins. Riley says that they sure do yap a lot in front of an exorcist, and they won't be dying an easy death. He points his blade at them, telling them to listen closely. He says for the sake of protecting all things in this world, Ashwa will destroy all evil, and they will chase them to the ends of hell to destroy them, as the entire Blue Faith Knights are now behind him. He says that the Skeleton King is wicked, forcing his subordinates to their death just because he wishes to escape mortality. The demons get angry that he would talk down on their leader, and they run in, saying they won't tolerate slandering their king, and that all things are for the sake of his revival. One of the knights grabs Isaac and runs away from the carriage, saying hopefully he forgives him for this. Isaac is just confused, wondering who is impersonating him. They finally get somewhere safe, and the knight puts him down, saying to wait here for a moment as he'll be back shortly. He begins to put a barrier around him. Isaac says even a high-ranking demon won't be able to break through this thing, which is pretty impressive. The fact that nothing from the outside can get in also means that anything inside can't get out. Now he can unleash all of his magic. So he begins putting his feet in the lotus position. And he says, "Head my call, you who is both magic and living," calling out for something called the Observing One. The demon greets him, and he immediately covers his mouth, saying it's been a while and to be quiet. The demon says that they never thought they'd be able to see him again. Isaac laughs, saying that he also thought he was done, for it's been a while. And we learn his name is Whisper. He is sapient detection magic. And this is the guy he created because he couldn't be bothered keeping up detection magic in the middle of a fight. He gained consciousness at some point, and he's pretty cute too. Whisper says that his wickedness is the same as always, and he also congratulates him for mercilessly stealing the body of an infant, but he can't believe those dirty divine bastards touched him, and they put him in a disgusting baby's body like this. Isaac tells him to stop talking and go find the enemies. Whisper then initiates his enemy detection magic and starts to unleash an aura, which flies around the battlefield, and he says a 100-meter radius is his current limit. There are a total of 88 enemies, all demons. Not that they'll be able to lay a single finger on him, but Isaac is surprised there are so many, asking if they're trying to start a war. It'll be troublesome if the security in the territory increases, and it'll be difficult for him to call his subordinates at this rate. He has no choice but to deal with them himself before they're noticed by House Ashwa, even if he has to use all of the mana he's accumulated until now. They need to be dealt with. Whisper then notices something, saying that the current enemy count is 51, and that they're quickly being eliminated. It's now 31, and then even 13 as one of the Blue Faith tells Riley something's heading their way. He tells everybody to get into a defensive formation. As there are only 4 demons left, they turn behind, saying their comrades finally here, and now they can work together. The demon says they can kill the saint today. This is the demon from the bishop. It then instantly kills the other demons, surprising even the Blue Faith. As Whisper says there's no enemy forces left, he detects a shadow lich. The demon then begins yelling, saying that they dare touch their king with their dirty hands, and they'll have to pay with their lives. Isaac just wonders what's with this dude's personality shift. W Lich for repaying the favor. The Shadow Lich continues, saying that his king and one and only master is trapped inside the body of a lowly baby. After being freed by Isaac, it has now developed a twisted attachment to him. The Shadow Lich says that they shouldn't even lay their filthy eyes on him, or hell rip their eyeballs out. One of the Blue Faith asks Riley what the hell it's saying, but of course humans can't understand the language, and it just sounds like gibberish to them. Isaac understands that the Shadow Lich knows he is the Demon King, and he's sure some guts are following him here. Riley tells everyone to prepare for battle, as they start running, and Isaac can't let him pop out like this, and he yells, telling them to stop messing with his food, As it is his highly concentrated mana source, one of the knights tells him to be patient, and that they will handle this quickly. The Shadow Lich starts laughing, saying that he has been recognized by Master, and even acknowledged. The man then tells Riley that the demon is being hella creepy, as the Shadow Lich flies directly overhead towards Isaac, saying that hell go to his master's side. Riley is surprised, saying that it's heading straight towards Isaac. The Shadow Lich calls them filthy paladins, asking how dare they trap his master in such a dirty bubble. It's good now that Isaac got its attention and he can't his mana snack get clapped, and he tells it to break the barrier. The Shadow Lich says yes and shatters it from the top, saying as he wishes. Both Riley and the other dude are starting to feel panicked, but Isaac smiles, telling it, good job, while holding onto its hand. And he says that it needs to now stop making a mess of things and rest. The Shadow Lich is confused by this as it slowly starts to get sucked away, until its existence shrinks more and more, turning it back into just a hand that he freed it from originally. His final words are asking him why. Riley is surprised, and for good reason, and asks if he just totemized a demon like that. The other dude is just pogging out of his gourd, saying that totemizing a demon in an instant sure is amazing, and he used a holy art only the saints or cardinals were capable of, but of course he didn't use holy arts, it was magic. Riley, on the other hand, is suspicious, saying that it certainly looked like a holy art, but he couldn't sense any holy power from it at all. The other dude tells him that people tend to shine the brightest when in danger. That thing went straight for him, and it probably instinctually felt that he was a threat to its existence, and that the young master has something going for him, and he's certain that he's the saint. Riley, though, still isn't buying it and says he's not wrong, and the demons did come for him even if he's not the saint. This child is definitely special, but he wonders why exactly he had to be a boy. He goes to explain some curse the Skeleton King gave them, but it gets cut off as the other dude says he's already decided as commander of the Blue Knights, he will protect the young lord, as he is the future of their house. Riley seems to have realized something that he wasn't even thinking about before, and smiles, saying that it seems he was foolish to be so afraid of the Skeleton King's curse when this child is going to elevate the Yeshua name. He picks up Isaac, saying it's time to go home, and as his uncle, Hell teach him many things. He has great potential, and Hell raise him into a fine paladin. Of course, Isaac doesn't care about being a paladin. He just wants his body handed over when they get home. Riley says even if he's fated for a short life, he will figure out a way to save him. Isaac starts to make a confused expression, wondering what exactly he meant by that, as Riley carries on, saying that Hell make sure his name is known across the entire continent. Isaac starts asking in babble what the hell that eerie thing he just said meant, but Riley mistakes it as him being happy. He says when they get home, Hell first teach him how to curse at the wicked Skeleton King. Of course, Isaac doesn't want to do that to himself, and he wonders what he did for them to hate him so much. They head to the Yeshua Ducal Mansion, and we see it's pretty grand. They have nice golden statues, a giant gazebo. Isaac is surprised, saying that they are living it up while tearing apart demonkind, wondering how expensive all of this is to begin with. He always said to be so frugal and desperate to feed his people that some of them often went starving. Even Whisper is surprised, saying this isn't day and night compared to their shitty castle. Even selling a few of these statues could buy 10 new ones. Isaac says he knows, telling Whisper to shut up. Riley picks up Isaac, saying that this is the Yeshua Mansion, and it's also the continent's birthplace of exorcism. He picks him up, telling him to look out the window, saying that he'll be just like them when he grows up. As we see a scarecrow, 3 dudes are beating the hell out of it, pretending that it was the Skeleton King. It's not just 3 people, as even more start to run up, absolutely jumping this thing, saying that this is a fate too gentle for somebody so evil. Isaac just wonders what the hell they're teaching these kids, saying that it's like a fanatic cult. But to him, it doesn't matter since he's joined the Holy Empire. Hell make the Emperor his puppet and turn it into the Isaac Empire. Whisper calls him petty, saying even though he's the mighty Skeleton King, he's going to let children's play hurt his feelings. Isaac tells him to shut up and keep scouting. Whisper says as he wishes, as he starts doing exactly that. Isaac is surprised by everything they see in the mansion, as there are a lot of blue lights. He asks if these are all monochores, saying there are more than 10,000 of them. Whisper says he's never seen so many before, wondering how many demons they killed. The carriage finally comes to a stop. As Riley says they've arrived, he exits, telling the staff to rearrange his room, as Isaac will be staying with him. They then apologize to him, but they say they've been ordered to escort him to the annex. Riley asks why, as the butler tells him that the fifth young master ordered that he is never allowed into the main building. Isaac wonders what's up with that. Riley asks if they're really trying to send Isaac to a place where people could die. Isaac says that, based on all this, family inviting him was something he should have predicted. When an infant was left outside, their family was just a shit show. Riley says that it looks like his brother is up to some pointless antics. Isaac asks why he would be in a place like the annex when he could live in a fancy mansion. Whisper then tells him that the monochores are actually in the annex. Riley then starts playing the good uncle, saying that he will not let his nephew stay in a ghost house, but of course, Isaac wants to, and starts speaking babble. Riley says that they're going to go to his room, and every night he's going to be read holy scriptures of the saintess battling against the skeleton king. Isaac says no, and at this point he might as well just exorcise him. Somebody then arrives and stops in front of Riley, saying that first he picks up that dirty vermin, and now he's causing a ruckus. He ordered that kid to be sent to the annex, and he shows his face after so long, and the first thing he does is defy his older brother. We are introduced to the fifth son, Goel Ashwa. Isaac is surprised by this, saying that he can't believe this dude is such a dick. Goel then asks Riley to go ahead and put that down, talking about Isaac, as he wants to send it to the annex. Riley asks if he's serious, saying that this child is one of the direct line of House Ashwa, so why is he saying that he will have to live in the annex, which is used for banishment? Even Isaac can understand that he just doesn't want him in the main house. Riley continues, saying that he will move him to his room. He's going to read him the exorcism ritual of the skeleton king in his room. But Isaac wants to go to the annex. Goel then says that he's dragged in something even dirtier than the skeleton king, while poking Isaac's cheeks. And he laughs, saying that for some reason, he's obsessed with direct lineage. Isaac says that he likes that he's trying to take him to the annex, but he doesn't know if this dude is a straight thug or not. Riley says that he's not completely oblivious to the fact that he wants to put him in the annex, and he's trying to paint him as a cursed child and push him out of the succession race. This surprises Isaac, and he says that's a problem, as he needs to drain this house for all it's worth and become the saint. Getting on the path to becoming the pope is necessary so he can take revenge against those gods. Goel wonders what he's talking about by push out, saying he's already heard that demons appeared to capture him, which shows that he is already a cursed child. The knight from before says that's not true, and that he actually exorcised the demons. And the fact that the demons were aiming for him proves that he is an important person, and it seems like another one agrees, saying that he has the power of the holy saint. Goel says that's heartwarming, and they are also eager to try and cover for this disgusting trash. And if they think he's a saint, then they should make him show his skills. Whisper says that he's right, and that he should summon a meteor on this dude. Isaac tells him to shut up. Goel continues, saying that if he's a saint, then he should prove it. He looks at a tree, saying that he has an idea, and that he should save that tree because it's the symbol of the house, and it's the tree that the head of the house cherished so much. It's a divine tree that died after being infused with the essence of demons, and if he has what it takes to become a saint, he'll be able to revive something like that easily. He then starts laughing, saying that is, if he truly is a saint candidate. Riley asks if he's serious, but Isaac's just confused, saying that Melissa fought so well, but her bloodline is cooked, her eldest is missing, and her fifth son is a dick. Then he realizes something, asking if this is serious. Whisper asks what it is, and Isaac grabs him by the back of his head, asking if he doesn't see it. And he throws him, telling him to go grab it. While Riley and Goel are talking, Riley says that it hasn't even been possible to save that tree in the last 70 years, and now he's asking a child who can't even understand his words. But then, they both turn completely surprised, and Riley says that it looks like the divine tree is back to its glory days, as we see he has actually managed to revive it. Goel says the tree wasn't saved even when healing and purification holy arts were used on it, and he wonders how he did this. Of course, Isaac knows nothing about any of that, and he just saw there was a ton of demon residue left in the roots, so he drained it by getting Whisper to eat it all. One of the knights asks Riley how the tree was able to do that, and if he did it. Riley says he didn't do anything, and the knight asks if that means what he thinks it does. We see Isaac just pouting about the fact that he didn't get to eat the manna, and the knights all start surrounding him, saying that he must be the reason the tree is back to its normal state, but Goel says they must have lost their minds, since no one in the house was able to cure the tree, So how could the child have done anything? Someone else must have helped, but they are not even listening to him, as they are treating Isaac like a king already, throwing him into the air. He then starts blaming Riley, saying that he must have done something, but Riley asks what he is talking about. Goel says that he attained the power of the Saintess, and he is acting like that trash is the one who did it. He grabs onto him, screaming. As they continue arguing, Isaac says now is not the time for Melissa to be hunting demons, and she needs to get back here to educate her children. Riley's older brother, Goel, looks nothing like Melissa, but Riley looks just like her. But in men's clothing, is this a stray chat? Whisper says they might be half-brothers, and Isaac says he was wondering because he did look a lot like the Pope. But Goel continues his tantrum, telling him to stop hiding it, saying that he knows that he brought the trash here so he could push him to be the saint candidate. Such scheming, even when he knows that the house already has one. Isaac seems happy there is another candidate, asking who the thug could possibly be pushing as his. But Whisper laughs, saying that he looks relaxed when he is the one competing for a position. Isaac asks if Whisper really believes the other candidate will be able to do anything when he is supported by an idiot. Whisper says that he guesses that makes sense. Riley speaks up finally, asking if he is trying to tell him to abandon the child, as he is their nephew and the son of their oldest brother. He has the right to inherit their house. Goel laughs, saying that their oldest brother is a deserter who ran away when the house was in danger, and he fell in love with trash and disappeared. Isaac says this is why he is being treated like a bastard, and it sure is interesting. Whisper is just confused that he can be so objective about his own circumstances. Goel grins, saying that he guesses that child is still the son of the Saintess, even if he is just a half-breed mutt. But he is not sure if this child is actually of his blood, and while he does look similar to her, if she wants to be of help with the house, she should become the breeding. But before he can finish that sentence, thank God, Riley hits him straight in the face and Goel starts to scream, asking if he really just hit him. Riley asks if he really thought he would be getting away with saying all this shit. Isaac says that brothers grow by fighting, and he has learned a lot of useful information thanks to this. As he starts to smack the absolute hell out of Goel, all of his knights run up, trying to stop him. Isaac says that he is pretty lucky that the family is not so tight-knit, and that he is going to destroy everything he possibly can for free. Whisper wonders how a demon like this got reincarnated, and he says logically speaking, if the house falls to ruin, that means he will be ruined as well. Sometime later, in a different part of the estate, Isaac is saying he is going to bed, pouting, saying that this is really pissing him off. Turns out it's not a bed, it's a long-ass table. The people there are debating what use a boy is. Isaac just can't believe that not a single person in this house is of the right mind. They start talking over one another, saying they can't believe it was a useless male, and not another Saintess. Isaac says that they should only come at him one at a time, and he's been getting nothing but berated since he came here. One of the women speaks up, telling everybody to quiet down, and she tells Riley that the family has said they would nurture and care for him. We are introduced to the second wife of Eli Ashwa, and head of the house, or at least the current acting one. Her name is Hina Ashwa. Hina asks why he was brought to the grounds of the main family. Isaac says she's making her disdain obvious, and the woman must be the one who wanted to send him to the annex. Goel tells Riley that his mother is asking him a question, asking why he's not responding. Isaac says it makes a lot of sense that it's his mother, and Riley asks if his father has vacated his position. Hina says he has gone out for a bit, and it's quite noisy with all the talk about saint candidates. Riley says that's a shame, and he needs to relay the news that the eldest grandson of Ashwa, Isaac, has revived the divine tree that he cherishes. Everybody is surprised, and Goel says it was a coincidence, asking how an infant could do anything like that. Another elder says that she thinks the same as well, asking how a mere child could fix such a problem they have had for the last 70 years. Hina laughs, saying that she agrees, and most importantly, there is no proof. The rest as well say that it is a great blessing that the tree is revived. Isaac says that these people sure are acting pretty blatant. He starts sticking his hands out, saying if they want proof, hell give it to them, and they all turn surprised as he reveals something that is swirling with aura, and tells them to get a closer look. Some of the elders are in disbelief, and they say it's the energy of the divine tree, while Isaac is just sitting there all smugly. Riley tells them that it appears that Isaac has removed the mana gnawing away at the divine tree. Everybody's surprised, and they say that they were aware that there was mana present, but how is the newborn the one who dealt with it? While others are debating how it could have been done, saying that the exorcism art that saved the tree can't have been easy, and it could have died if they weren't careful, and that was why the head of the house relied on purification to save it instead of an exorcist. Goel says this is bullshit, and there's no way that bastard son has so much power. Riley continues, saying that Isaac undoubtedly followed its entries and exorcised the mana of the divine tree. Of course, he just sits there smugly. And he continues, saying that this infant was able to achieve something in mere moments that no one in House Ashwa before him has managed in 70 years. Goel says that he's blabbing out of his own mind, and then slams the table, saying they can't believe such an absurd tale, asking how a baby could perform exorcism arts when he's an infant who is yet to say his first words, and that the world will merely make a mockery of them if they allow such stories to be spread. And look at the boy, as he looks nothing like his eldest brother, and he bets that he bears no Ashwa blood, and he must be the son of some beggar on the streets. Riley tells the elders to heed his words, and that this child will one day become the saint. In fact, he may very well become the Pope in the future. Isaac says that his uncle Shuri is doing a good job, and then Riley lifts him into the air, and says that he will be the one to kill the Skeleton King too. Isaac takes back everything he said about this dude. They're surprised by this. Hina says that he's digging his own grave while laughing, and that if he's so sure about the boy, they want to test him. She shall request the usage of the Treasury of Holy Artifacts to do so. It jumps to the northwest of the Holy Empire of Hela, specifically the Black Forest. We see a monster get its head cut off, as a man is standing before him, surrounded by countless monstrous corpses. He says this was a waste of his damn time. It looks like one of the Blue Faiths greets him, calling him the Lord of the House. He asks what's wrong. He says that the deputy head has requested permission to use the Treasury of Holy Artifacts. The dude says that he said before that the Holy Church can have no access to it, and his knight tells him that she's not asking about it for the Holy Church, and that his grandchild has saved the divine tree. Thus, the deputy head has requested access to determine if the boy is truly a saint or not. He then asks what exactly that means, and why there is a saint in his house. And we are introduced to Eli Yeshua. He says he refuses, that place will kill anyone other than the saint's candidate, and tells them not to engage in pointless infighting as there will be no exceptions. We then hear a woman say they should let him do it. She's asking if the grandchild's name was Isaac as she walks forward. We are introduced to Melissa for the first time. She says to think he saved the divine tree. He sure is quite promising, and if they are going to open the treasury, they should throw in all of these saint candidates. The knight tries to tell her that a child of another house might take home the greatest artifact in the treasury. Melissa says that she'd actually prefer that someone would do that. Even the greatest saintess in history could not take it home for themselves, but with that, they could even track down the Skeleton King and kill it once and for all. In fact, they should reward anyone who brings it back. She then tells the knight to go spread the word, and they shall grant the child who brings back the greatest artifact what they reward even the Pope cannot provide. Not only will they give them the saintess heirloom that has been passed down in House Ashwa for generations, she shall personally teach them the secret techniques that she has, as well as give everything away to the child who succeeds. She looks excited about it. The treasury, where holy artifacts and secret techniques have been stored away for thousands of years and generations, was all taken care of by the saintess and House Ashwa. They could be seen as its owner. Since only children under the age of 10 could enter, the treasury was used as the place to hold the first birthday ritual for saintess candidates. They would then predict their abilities depending on what item they brought back from the treasury. However, it was a dangerous place. Even saintess candidates could easily die inside. After years of death and loss beyond its doors, the treasury was eventually sealed. Then it jumps back to Whisper, saying that he really wonders if he will be able to grab the saintess treasure and return safely. Isaac asks why he's the one giving him the lore expose. Whisper says that he doesn't seem that excited about it. Isaac says that he actually is, as his body is meant to be inside the treasury too. He starts laughing. The knight from before picks him up out of his cradle, asking if he's excited, saying that the matriarch has opened the treasury to all saint candidates, and that the children of all 5 great houses will be gathering soon, and even the house of that despicable pope will be here. But he's sure that Isaac will be the one to win. Whisper says it's much bigger than they expected. Isaac says it's better this way, because if multiple children enter the Treasury, the onlookers will be splitting their attention between everyone, and he'll have a much easier time retrieving his body. That way Riley catches him out of the air, telling him that he must be careful, as demons that were captured during war are guarding the Treasury. Isaac asks if that's why it's so dangerous inside, but still, if they were captured, they must be rank 6 or weaker. And as long as he intimidates them, then it'll be easy. Riley then tells him that rank 8 demons are by no means easy to face. Isaac asks who the hell is the rank 8 demon that got his ass caught, as the knight continues adding on to it, saying that the rank 9 dragon will be the toughest to deal with. Riley says rank-wise that it's true, and Whisper sighs, saying that this house is full of madmen, and why on earth would they place a dragon inside the area when they hold the first birthday ritual for babies? But still, with Isaac's extensive knowledge on dragons, he should easily be able to deal with them. But then he's surprised as he looks down, seeing Isaac looking nervous as hell, because he says dragons are dangerous in a totally different way, and that he used to scam them very frequently. Whisper asks how many he possibly could have scammed, and Isaac says that it was probably around 70. And that they have a deep hatred for him, and this is bad as they have terrific memories, and they might actually notice who he is by his soul. Whisper says that this is a great opportunity to change what master he serves. Isaac says he heard that, calling him a son of a bitch. I like their banter. He then stands up, saying he has no choice. If the treasury is filled with rank 8 demons and a rank 9 dragon, yet he can only handle rank 6 enemies, in order to defeat them, he'll sneak into the annex where all of their spoils were stored, and steal all of the mana cores. It jumps to somewhere else in the estate, and as we see some kind of front door, it's none other than Isaac on the floor in front of it. Whisper asks if he's okay, as it looks like he's about to be exorcised because he's reading the Book of Holy Arts, 10 Ways to Take Apart the Skeleton King. Isaac says once he figures out how to wield holy power, he'll be able to learn holy arts, and he wants to learn that first. Maybe he should use mind control to force them to teach him. Whisper finds this funny, saying that he must be crazy trying to use magic in the middle of a family of paladins, asking if he doesn't want to be accused of being a demon and destroyed by the entire family. Isaac asks why he became like this after 150 years and says that he can't get an idea of how this is done with just theory. Riley picks him up, saying he looks tired, and he's supposed to have gone through a lot today. Isaac says he's right, he needs to sleep 16 hours or more at this age. Riley goes to put him in the cradle, while the knight picks up the book he was reading. Riley stretches his hand out over his head, and uses a holy art called Recover that starts to give him back his energy. Now he wants Riley to do some attack art so he can learn that, and Whisper just tells him to stay still as they need to go to the other building later, so they shouldn't keep these people here too late. Isaac realizes he's right, saying that he needs to get them out of here. And then he lays down, and Whisper says nobody's gonna believe that kind of acting, but of course, they both say that he fell asleep so fast, and he excels in everything. Whisper asks if they are crazy for falling for this. And as they start to leave, Whisper says his family sure is great. Riley tells the knight to take the totem with him, as it's dangerous to be left here, and tells him since it's the first totem he has made, it needs to be stored somewhere safe. Isaac though has to revive it, asking why they would take it, and he needs to siphon the mana out of the poor thing, and he starts crying after they leave. He says since it's come to this, he has no other choice, and he has to go suck the mana out of the mana cores. He starts to hop out of his cradle, and Whisper asks if he's gonna crawl all the way there, because he won't be there until tomorrow. Isaac says he has a plan, he just needs to open the door, and Whisper says okay. But there's no way that he'll have to carry him. But after he tries unlocking the door a few times, he finds out that it's locked, and since the lock is outside and a holy art was placed on it, they won't be able to get it open like this. Isaac says he can't believe his uncle is so protective, and tells Whisper to break it. Whisper says if they do that, they'll think it's an attack and rush here. Isaac says he's gonna go crazy, as he can't just keep hanging on to Whisper, and if he uses magic, things will get worse too. He wonders how to get out, only to get hit with a door, and a kid walks in, wondering what's going on, and he looks down to see Isaac on the floor, saying that it's just a baby that can't even walk, and this is actually Goel's son, named Shuri, and he is 5 years old. Shuri asks if this little boy is his rival. There's no way a little baby like him made a totem that a genius like himself can't even make. Shuri then begins to form something in front of Isaac, and he tells him that he will be the one to become saint, and he starts trying to show off his holy arts, saying that he has no right to his position. We see a toy starting to float up as Isaac points at it, and he smacks Shuri straight in the face with it and says that he found his ride. Shuri asks if he knows who he is, and of course, since he looks just like a younger Goel, he knows that it's his kid. He saw him gathering holy power to attack him, and he deserves a beating, as he starts smacking the hell out of this kid, and he says that he's gonna make sure this kid takes him to the annex. Some purple aura starts to form on Shuri's hand, and it's a barrier that knocks the toy away from him, and we see he's really pissed. He asks Isaac if he's surprised, as he's the only one of his age who can use rank 3 holy defense arts, and he tells him not to get surprised now, as he used a rank 3 attack art as well called Holy Light, and he starts forming it above him. He tells Isaac to eat this, and Isaac says this is actually pretty good, as there's 2 holy lights already. He then smiles, thanking him for the meal, as the holy arts just completely evaporate in the air above him. Shuri is surprised, asking what kind of holy defense art is that big, and Isaac says that his uncle never told him how to use it, so he was curious, but after witnessing Shuri, he can just mimic it. Shuri made 2 orbs, and Isaac made way too many that I'm not gonna bother counting, but it's enough to freak this kid out, and then Isaac points at him. Shuri realizes he's in deep shit and begs for him to wait, and we only hear him getting yaunched off screen. Whisper says that it's probably not okay to kill a direct family member, and Isaac says he wasn't planning on killing him, as not one of them even hit the kid, and he was freaking out. Shuri starts mocking him, saying that if he can't even hit him, he shouldn't surprise him like that, and he says there's no way that he can beat a saint candidate like himself if he can't use holy arts properly. We then hear the shadow lich speaking behind the kid, and when he turns scared, it asks how dare he attack his king, and if he wants to die. The kid falls to his knees, and looks absolutely mortified. This is going to be a core memory for sure. Isaac then crawls up on the shoulder of the shadow lich, looking all smug, asking him what he's doing, telling the shadow lich that it's time for him to Uber to the annex. A little later, we hear Shuri explaining that he was the one destined to be the saint, and that he was going to escape this accursed household and become the Pope. But for some reason, we see him struggling to walk. He explains that he's being bossed around by a baby. The Boss Baby movie is making international waves. Shuri just wonders why he's having to do this, asking Isaac if he doesn't know who he is. But the Shadow Lich tells him that he needs to keep moving, or hell tear him apart, calling him a lowly human. Obviously, Shuri is terrified of this thing and says that he should just focus on surviving first, and he cries, begging for somebody to save him. Out in the courtyard, we see them walking past the gazebo, and Isaac's telling him to go left, but of course, he's speaking babble, so Shuri can't understand him and wonders where the hell he's trying to get him to go. He then stops moving, looking up. His heart starts to sink. Then he says that this is the second annex, and it's pretty much a ghost house. He wonders why this crazy kid brought him here out of all places, and the clan head said that this place is off limits because of all the deaths. Whisper and Isaac start smiling, saying there's at least 1,000 here, and it's mana that would take decades of intense training to obtain. Isaac pulls on Shuri's cheek, telling him to go forward, and Shuri says that they can't do that, and the adult said to never enter. The Shadow Lich tells him to shut up and walk, calling him a mutt, so he decides to enter against his own wishes, and we hear him crying with every single step as he makes it further into the house. Isaac says the inside of this place is more shoddy than he expected. Then he spots something, wondering if that's what he thinks it is. Whisper says the entire building is sealed, and every door has a power barrier cast on it. Isaac calls this annoying, and Shuri says they should go back now, as all the doors are locked anyway. Isaac starts pulling on his hair, trying to get him to turn left. This is literally just Ratatouille. Shuri looks to his left, telling him to knock it off with the hair pulling, only to spot some portraits, and it's all the previous clan heads, and he asks if he really has his sights set on being the clan head. And Shuri tells him not to even dream about it, that's gonna be him. Isaac raises up his little play toy, then Isaac throws his toy straight into one of the portraits, shattering it. And Shuri wonders what the hell he's doing, screaming because it's not just one, but every one of the ancestors' portraits are being smacked the hell up, to the point that Shuri calls him a lunatic. Isaac says they shouldn't have set up the barrier spell on the paintings then, and Whisper says with this, the barrier has been shattered. Isaac's happy. He then jumps off his back, telling him it's time to go. Shuri asks where he's going, only to watch him do the Supreme Tactical Commando rollout down the hallway. Isaac continues yelling and babble until he comes into a room that is filled with monocores. He tells Whisper to close the doors, and Shuri tries to run over, telling him to wait, asking what he's doing, and Isaac smiles, saying that a kid like him doesn't need to know. The door then closes, and Isaac gets into lotus position, saying it's time to begin his harvest. Shuri bangs on the doors, telling him to come out already, or he's gonna snitch on him. He continues saying he's gonna tell the adults he got kicked out, and we see Riley entering with a bunch of knights and elders, and at least one elder calling out to Shuri, wondering what he is doing here. He says thank goodness he's here, and that Isaac is a little monster. The elder starts barking, asking what the hell is the meaning of this, as they forbid entry to the annex. Yet he brought Isaac here. Shuri asks what they mean, saying they've got it wrong, and they tell him that they saw that Isaac was crying, forcing him in here, and they ask if this really isn't his doing. He says he used some holy attack arts and did carry him here, but it's just a misunderstanding, and Riley tells him he's crossed a line here, and he understands how he feels, but to torment a baby is too far. When he asks where he locked Isaac in, Shuri tries to tell them that he didn't lock him in. He did it himself. They then hear banging on the inside of the room, which surprises them, and Riley runs up to the door, asking if he's in there. They wonder if maybe he even locked the door on him, and when Riley opens it, he looks worried, only to spot Isaac bawling his eyes out on the floor. Even the elder asks if he's okay, saying look how scared he was. Shuri can't believe they're falling for this porno-level acting, and Riley's just glad that he's safe, saying that he's shocked, but he's unharmed. He then glares at Shuri, saying that he should be ashamed of himself for this. Shuri starts crying too, saying that it wasn't him, and Isaac then speaks babble, and peeks over Riley's shoulder, smiling evilly, saying that he can't believe his dumb ass fell for it. Shuri now realizes he's been toyed with, and the elder is about to scold him. I feel bad for him. Isaac's sitting there inspecting the mana, saying there was more than expected, and he obtained a century's worth in one go, and with this much mana, he can use that plan that he has cooked up. Riley mistakes his face of evil, completely ignoring the fact he looks like a little Lloyd, saying that he looks like he's in shock. Sometime later, we hear Riley telling Isaac that he has someone he wants to introduce him to. Isaac looks up, wondering who it is, and Riley says that her name is Ashley, and she will be taking care of him from now on. She introduces herself as a paladin of Ashwa, and her name is Ashley La Arch. She then bows towards him, saying that she will serve him until her dying breath. Isaac asks if it's because they want to keep an eye on him after that last event. He then calls out to her, speaking in babble, and tries to intimidate her, saying that he doesn't need her to get lost. The little action he just did shocks them, and Ashley gets closer to him, calling out to Riley, asking if she could just pinch one of his cheeks, as they thought that pose was super cute. Riley then reaches into his vest, saying that he wants to give him this, and it's a present from his uncle. Isaac wonders if he found it on the ground, and Whispers says he heard that Ashwa's wealth had taken a hit, but it's more serious than they thought, and maybe they consider that good enough for a birthday gift. But Ashley recognizes it, saying that it's the Saintess treasure, and now Isaac is starting to see it in a different light. Riley says that he got this from the elders to give it to him. Isaac's surprised, saying this must mean it's the real thing, and it's the ring that the Saintess used when fighting him. It is an elder ring that contains a small miracle of the gods, and it has an unbelievable amount of holy power. As it is now, he can only use it once or twice, but he has a way to fix it. He then turns, looking to his side, spotting an angry Goel on the side, and he says that Thug's face gives away that it's definitely real, asking how he could look at his nephew like this. He then starts to get closer, calling out to him, and tries to act super close, saying that he's always so lovely every time he sees him, and asks if he's gotten used to the house yet. Isaac wonders what's with this dude's personality, saying that he's weird, and it looks like he's finally gone insane. Goel says that things are getting weird, and he broke the blessing device in the treasury so he couldn't get the blessing, and to think they'd give him the Saintess treasure, and one of the elders says that Isaac can't receive a blessing, so he needs to have this to make it fair. Goel is surprised to see the Saintess treasure, and he says that they should let his kid, Shuri, have it. The elder says that since Shuri already received a blessing from the Holy Church, he should stop being greedy and leave. Goel says that he was going to pretend to donate it to the Holy Church and swipe it for himself, yet he just took it without even knowing what it is. Goel says that he should be given a proper present and not that piece of junk. Riley asks what he's talking about, asking how he could call the Saintess item garbage. Goel says that Isaac is his precious nephew, saying that he won't even be able to use the ring, and he pulls out a different one that's all sparkly, saying that this is an item that has received countless blessings from the Holy Church, and he should put this into the treasury instead, as it'll be more useful for him, and even Uncle Riley can't get it for him. Isaac starts to reach his hand towards it and Goel gets happy, thinking he's fallen for it, only for him to slap the shit straight back into his face, telling him to get out. He then closes the ring box and yeets it into another dimension, making it fall into a nearby pond. Riley says that ring looks 1,000 times more precious than the ring he gave him, yet he picked the one that he gave him anyway, and starts to stretch his hand out to him. Both he and Ashley throw him up in the air, saying that they're only going to give him the best things they can, and everybody else starts digging into the water, trying to find the ring that Goel lost. Isaac says that he used magic to make the ring impossibly heavy, so they'll never find it. Whisper says that he's impressed that he's resolved to never touch a rat stuff, only for him to tell Whisper to go get it later at night. And Whisper says never mind. All respect lost, but Isaac plans to sell it because it's definitely valuable. Goel starts crashing out back in his office. He starts slamming his desk, saying that stupid little shit has no idea how much that ring he just lost cost him, but he says it's fine, as it's not like he can use the Elder Ring properly anyway, and it's a good item for someone who can't use the holy arts, but there's no way he'll activate it, since he can only use it after absorbing 20 people's worth of holy power. There might be around 10 people at his first birthday, not really sure what this means. The next day, which is his first birthday, we see a whole group of people and their children here to celebrate it. Ashley is looking out the window holding him, saying that it's amazing, and there are 148 saint candidates and 4,000 servants and aristocrats. She says that it looks like all the ducal houses are here, and a dozen of marquis houses too, and that other countries have sent their saint candidates as well, and that the emperor himself might even be here. Isaac says they said saints are sent from the heavens, but maybe those gods got lazy and started putting them everywhere. Whisper says that's definitely something they would do. Now Riley says this is still unexpected. He thought everybody would assume it was a trap and not visit. Then someone enters the room saying there's no way they would think that, and he tells Riley it's been a while, and we're introduced to the head of the Empire's top 3 guilds and Riley's childhood best friend. His name is Count Simon Aegis. Riley's surprised that Simon's here, and Simon says that every family in the Empire is buzzing with excitement over this. So of course he is, and people heard that the weak men of Ashwa were attending, so they all came figuring it couldn't be a trap. And since Ashwa's matriarch put that up as a surprise, how could they not come? Even the Pope's house won't be able to resist it. Isaac wonders what they're talking about, but we don't get to figure it out yet, as Riley asks what he's talking about, because there's no way the Pope would come here. Simon says those high and mighty royals would definitely never come to Ashwa, and they claim everyone but House Barrett are commoners. Riley tells him to lower his voice, and Simon asks why, saying his son, Amon, is a saint candidate too, and it's not a place the Pope's family can interfere. Riley tells him that's why he should watch his tongue, as the door slowly opens. Simon says they just need to bring something better than those snobs who've got their noses in their ass, but he gets cut off as we hear Shuri say there is nothing more dangerous than somebody who is vulgar, and it seems that old proverbs are never wrong. As he starts to enter the room, Riley and Simon are surprised as the cardinal actually showed up. He says that since it's a weak boy from Ashwa, he hopes that he'll be able to bring literally anything from the treasury to save face. He was curious to see the child who claimed to be a saint candidate, yet he couldn't find the boy anywhere he looked. He starts to smile, saying this is going to be a good opportunity, and he prays that the Ashwa saint candidate will elevate the name. Riley then starts to wonder if maybe they've fallen into the Holy Church's trap. He finds it odd that the number of saint candidates increased from 25 to 148 in the last week. There is no other explanation. The Holy Church must have ignored all of the unfit candidate claims. Everyone wants their child to be one, and if those children are put into the treasury, they will make quick work of the weakest competitor. They may use that chaos to execute a sinister plan. He turns towards Ashley, looking worried, saying that this means Isaac is in danger. Bro doesn't understand. He is him. We learn more about the boys born in Ashwa, but other than their exceptional looks and their family's reputation, they are all useless. But to those who want to possess the superior Ashwa DNA, And to those who want to gain the favor of the papal house, which hates the house of the saintess, a boy from Ashwa is something that nobody wants to resist as they are prey to them. So some woman said it was time to play a little with the Ashwa boy, and he doesn't have to be dead, he just has to be unable to do anything. They mix drugs into his water and use a holy poison to show the child of Ashwa the cold reality of the world and make him a laughingstock in front of everybody, but of course, we see them all surprised, because instead of them making it clear that the Ashwa child can never be a saint, we see him chugging bottle after bottle. Isaac is just getting sloshed, saying this shit is actually gas. The other kids are scared, just wondering how many of those he drank. Isaac threw the bottle, saying that they can't kill him with just this much poison, and that they need to bring him more. The kids start to feel afraid, saying they want to go home. And that thing was supposed to give him diarrhea, and maybe they used the wrong bottles, as all the kids planned to make him a laughingstock. Shuri wonders why the hell this kid keeps drinking drugs, saying that he should stop sullying the Ashwa name, as a saint candidate should be able to spot drugged water. He snatches it out of his hand, telling him to stop drinking it and asking if he is possessed. He then hands him a normal bottle, telling him he should drink this instead, only to get it thrown back into his face. Isaac says there's no poison in this and he wants one that has poison as he walks to somebody else who's wondering why he's okay. The kid tells him that his is a holy poison and another kid stops him, saying that he'll die if he drinks that. He jumps up into the air, saying he wants it now, and then he starts murdering that guy in front of everybody, and they say he must have a strong immunity to poison. And they heard if you train your holy power, you reach a state where naturally you filter out poison. And if he's at that level, it would be the only explanation as to why he's looking for the poison ones. The kid asks if he's really sacrificing himself. This is Hura's grandson, who is named Kina, and sure, he is just surprised that he's here. He didn't know that the papal house would be participating. Turns out this is the direct grandson, not his son. All the other kids recognize him too, wondering why he's here, and they say that he's going to win if he enters the Treasury. Isaac says that's the only one that has been chosen internally to be the saint, but he doesn't even know if the Barrett family can produce a pure hair color like that, as no matter how far he thinks back about it, every pope he has met had dirty brown hair. Kina says that it's not odd that the papal house isn't the saint of his treasury, and that the pope is the head of all clergymen. Therefore the saint is the treasure of the property of their house. Sure, he is surprised that he's being so bold, as Kina continues laughing, saying that he's here to take his things that he rightfully owns, asking why this is odd. Isaac says he's definitely a part of the papal house, and he's definitely a monster. Just considering his holy power, he's already surpassed bishops, and he guesses that's why he's Saint Candidate 0. Kina continues, asking why they're trying to make the host look bad, asking if they're even really saint candidates, and they are also substandard and they are also trashy, asking why they are trying to terrorize a child so young. There's no way that this little kid can control his poison immunity, and it must be the power of the saint that's protecting him. Isaac laughs, saying that he guessed his stupidity runs in the kid's family, as Kina raises his hands with holy power in them, saying that he's going to heal them up. Everyone else is surprised that he's using at least a rank 5 holy power, and Isaac understands what's going on, as he's trying to use him to show off his power, saying it's pretty clever, but he doesn't want to mess around with it, so he slaps him across the face and everyone is just surprised, but they point out that his holy power has disappeared. Kina turns, wondering what the hell just happened, saying there's no way this little kid disrupted his holy power. As he slips out of his hands, Kina now understands that Isaac is actually stronger than him. As Isaac crawls away back towards the poison, he can tell Kina is getting pissed, and he asks why the hell he's glaring at him. Isaac goes to smack him in the head with a bottle, but Shuri dives in with the classic Mr. President, get down, saying he can't do this, and everyone else wonders why he hit somebody trying to cure him, wondering if it's an act of war between the two households. Shuri says if it wasn't for him, they all would have taken a bottle to the dome. Kina says it's okay, and he was just surprised. After all, he's still a baby, and he bids them luck, as they should get whatever little toys they can to save some face for their family. Isaac still is just pissed, and Kina says the greatest treasure of the treasury is his anyway, and that Ashwa will never even get close to the body of the skeleton king. Isaac is surprised by this, and Shuri says that he sure is annoying, asking why he came here to start shit. Isaac is screaming, asking what the hell that bastard just said, but of course he's speaking babble, and nobody can understand him, and he starts trying to interrogate Shuri about his original body. Shuri asks why he's doing this, telling him to stop shaking him, and he says that the matriarch said that the one who brings the Skeleton King's body will get a special gift. Isaac is surprised by this, and is a little grossed out, wondering what the hell kind of games Melissa is playing with his body. Sometime later, we see that Isaac has actually accumulated even more bottles than last time, and he's just looking up dazed, saying that he spent hundreds of years cultivating mana into his old body, and reaching rank 10 would be child's play if he could get his hands on it, but how is he supposed to sneak his body out when all these kids are aiming for it too? And he's starting to feel pissed. He says that hell just knock out anyone that gets in his way. One of the people says that everybody should gather around, and they will be departing soon. So listen carefully. They explain that the Treasury is a holy place and the previous saint is, but we don't get to hear the rest as Isaac asks if they're really going to explain everything. But the history lesson is that this is going to take forever, and it's boring. He starts crawling away, saying that he's going to go ahead, and Shuri asks what he's doing and where he thinks he's going. As Isaac gets into a sprint stance, he dashes off the ground, kicking up dust, and everybody turns surprised, and Shuri tells the elder that Isaac is hauling absolute cheeks. We see he's using the holy art he learned called Swift Steps. The elder tells him that the area is off limits, and if he goes that way, traps will activate throughout the entirety of the Treasury. The other kids all start running towards him, saying they need to stop that maniac before something bad happens inside the mansion ballroom of House Ashwa. Ashley says that she hopes the young master is doing well. One of the people up on the main stage says that they've connected to the inside of the Treasury, and he'll be reporting live with a summon that's currently following the child in third place, as we see bats flying up above. He says the door to the first chamber has been opened, and the candidates are now entering. Riley's surprised it's already starting. He says that currently in third place is Amon, and Simon says, hell yeah, that's my boy. In second place is Shuri, and Goel is surprised but says he's still proud of his son, and in first place, he's surprised as it's none other than Isaac. We see him still using his swift steps. Being an absolute menace, the elder is yelling, telling Bro to hold up as he can't go in there, since he's going to activate traps. On cue, he steps on one and Bro gets absolutely zapped. Shuri asks the elder if he's okay, only for even more traps to appear, as Shuri is running for his absolute life through this battle royale. Screaming, he asks Isaac what the hell he's doing and why he's making such a mess. He says the trials of the Treasury are already hard enough, and now they have to avoid these other things because of Isaac. Isaac finally makes it to a door, saying that this must take him to the second chamber, and there's a second layer of traps inside too. Shuri yells, telling him that's the wrong way. Whisper says great work, and thanks to the monocores he absorbed in the annex, he's also gone up a rank. Isaac says it's good, now he can work him even harder. He tells Whisper to go ahead and grab him as Whisper says yes. He starts flying in, and the other kids say they didn't know it would be this bad, and that this is why the Saintesses are so strong. One of them is then confused, and he says that that's one of the brats from Ashwa, and we see Shuri floating in the air. They wonder how he's flying, saying that he must have been taught it ahead of time, and this is unfair. Of course, that's not it, as he's being forced against his will, saying that he wishes they would let him go. Whisper says he secured his informant and drops him on the ground in front of him. Shuri says that he should just knock it off, and he's made it past the first chamber, but starting from the second onwards, he'll die if he isn't careful. And it was designed to teach Saintesses how to overcome fear and choose the right path. He gets zapped for stepping on a trap, and Isaac laughs, saying he doesn't need his yapping, and he just needs to explain what's in the second chamber. Somehow Shuri actually understands him, and says that when you enter the second chamber, he can't attack no matter what, and that is the golden rule. Isaac asks what kind of nonsense this is, saying if they're enemies, then he should just be able to attack them. Maybe Shuri is just fluent in body language and says that that's the only way to get past the second chamber, and no matter what comes out, he should just wait for 3 minutes until they disappear, and he should answer him if he understands, or else they're both screwed. Isaac says that a test of patience sure is cliched, and Shuri warns him that people have died in there. Isaac says that it sounds like a cakewalk and he just needs to stop from attacking, and 3 minutes is absolutely nothing. He puts his hands on the door, and it begins to welcome him into the chamber of tranquility. Patience is a virtue and a cold rationale, and he can't let himself be shaken, and he must maintain it. Why is Bro actually looking mad cute? As whatever voice walks into the chamber, It tells him that his patience will guide him to the light. A bit later, we see Kina and some other kids, and they wonder if this is going to be okay. As they're in last place, Kina says there's no need for them to endure the danger first, and they can just let the meat shield stand in front. And besides, they might have forgotten that a rank 8 demon guards the entrance to the second chamber, and that everybody else who ran ahead is probably already slumped out. Kina laughs, pointing ahead, saying, "Look at that." As we see a bright golden light, he says the trial has already begun. As the door slowly opens, the voice says not to let himself be shaken, and Isaac is disgusted, as we start to see some figure like he saw in the divine realm, saying that his patience will guide him to the light before he can finish a sentence. Isaac zaps the hell out of him, insta-killing him. Shuri is surprised and says that they're screwed all because he couldn't listen to orders, and he yells, saying that it's all because of this dumbass that they're both cooked. Isaac asks how the hell he's meant to hold back when they're showing him the god's ugly-ass mug. Whisper says that 3 seconds was 3 longer than he expected. The voice says that he has failed, and those that could not be patient shall face the wrath of divine punishment. As we see a giant golem come out of the door, Shuri says they're screwed and they're both gonna die here, but Isaac's preparing an attack, and he rears his fist back, shooting it forward, blowing an absolute chunk through this thing's chest. Shuri's even more confused than earlier. As its core starts melting, he wonders what the hell is the deal with this kid, and if he's in some kind of gag MANHWA. As the golem's body starts to fall apart, Isaac asks why the hell they're saying this is rank 8, and that this golem was made by a subordinate, a member of the 14 elite demons. The strongest of the subordinates he had trained is the Skeleton King, and this is innate magic belonging to one of them, and he wonders why it's working here under House Ashwa now. Or maybe it has something to do with his Bodhi's presence. So he needs to investigate it further. Shuri asks where he's going, and we hear a boy laughing, saying that he can't believe the Ashwa boys are actually helpful. He then comes out from behind some bushes, which I don't know how they got there. And he is part of the Red Faith of the 5 Great Faiths, the 3rd son of the ducal house Safet. His name is Nigel Safet. He thanks Isaac for being the gatekeeper for them, and says that now he should get out of their way, as they're going to enter the second chamber first. They continue yapping, saying that they suffered so much because of Isaac, and Isaac is just surprised there are so many survivors. Nigel says that he never knew House Ashwa could be so cowardly. He also bets that Shuri was in on it, and they planted all these traps before him. Shuri asks in what world does it look like he's not just being forced to do this. So he tries telling them that he is really not working with him at all. Nigel says that they all saw how the baby avoided the traps. Asking how that makes sense, he looks at the ring on his chest, saying that that is an artifact that must have something to do with this ring. He yoinks it off of him, telling everybody to look at this, saying if they wear this, they can avoid the traps. Shuri says this dude is nowhere close, but he wonders why Isaac is so calm about this, saying it's eerie, and he would never let someone steal without fighting back. Nigel and the rest start to enter the doorway, saying that they should stay back, as they don't need anyone from Ashwa anymore. As the Skeleton King's corpse belongs to House Sefet of Red Faith instead, and he will personally bring it back to all of them. He steps on the floor and a tile starts to drip down. He then makes the haha, I'm in danger face, as he and his boys all explode from the trap, and they start screaming, asking what the hell is going on. Shuri says that Isaac definitely knew about this, and that he was baiting them, and all on purpose. After the smoke has settled, and we see all of them yamshed on the ground. Oh, what is bro doing? They start to head through the second chamber. Thanks to their group being dumb, all of the similar traps in the second chamber have now been set off. But he's still a little annoyed, asking why he is being followed, as we see a group of 3 kids being cautious behind them. They all say that he has divine energy, and they're sure of it, and he's from the house of the Saintess. After all, that Nigel was dumb, and the ring looked like some kind of antique. There's no way someone from Ashwa would be so cowardly to begin with. Whisper says that it's about damn time they learn of his master's magnificence. But Shuri is internally thinking that they need to run away, as the monster on top of his head is more terrifying than any demon. One of the kids walks up, saying if there really is a saint among them, he believes it would be someone like Isaac. He says it's nice to meet the youngest lord of House Ashwa, and he introduces himself as Paris Julius II Prince. Everybody says that's the kingdom to the east of Hela, and they heard their prince received a divine blessing. Isaac says this kid might be pretty useful. Then Shuri calls out to Isaac, who asks what he wants. Shuri then comes to a stop, saying that they're here, and this is the gate to the third chamber. As more beings from the divine realm, or at least the appearance of them, welcome the candidates to the third chamber. This one is to demonstrate their courage and resolve. The other kids say they were right to follow him instead of Nigel, and the skeleton king's corpse is theirs. The beings say that the test here is simple. They need to defeat them and claim their honor. Isaac seems to recognize it, wondering if the gatekeeper is what he thinks it is. After he confirms his suspicions, he starts to smile, saying this is going to be fun. He then puts his hand out, pretty much telling the other kids to stop. They wonder what he wants, then Shuri starts to think about it, saying that the gatekeepers must be lying. The first chamber was the chamber of selection. He ran recklessly through it. The second was supposed to be about tranquility. Yet he didn't hold himself back at all. The third one is supposed to be rumination, it's a hint. He just needs to remember what happened in the chambers. He must not attack these two. Isaac points to the side, trying to shoo the other ones away. They ask if that's where he wants them to go. Shuri is confused why he's helping them. He guesses that despite being the devil, he still has the Ashwa blood in him, which is the blood of the saintess after all. He says that maybe he misjudged him this entire time. He's sure he's like the saintess and will show the others the correct path. Instead, Isaac hits it directly in the face with an attack. Shuri then realizes that he completely misunderstood this. As the gatekeeper lives the attack, it tells Isaac that he has failed, while swinging directly towards all of the other little kids who are standing off to the side. They then get blown up and scream, asking for someone to save them. Shuri starts to have a bad feeling. They stand there and watch this massacre. Shuri decides to look up to see what face Isaac is making. He looks like Lloyd, and calls him a crazy bastard. Isaac says this is quite a familiar sight. These are puppets made from the magic of the 14 demons. They are called the lying dolls. He sits there just laughing. Then he tells the puppet demons to teach the kids the bitter struggles of life, while laughing like a demon himself. Poor Shuri. Some of the kids now start wondering where the Yeshua people went, as they were right there beside them. We see them in some kind of invisibility holy art that is rank 6. And even Paris is there with them. Paris says that this was a blessing that Uncle gave them to use for emergencies, and he used it at such a good time. He thanks Isaac for giving him invisibility too, and Isaac says it's whatever, telling him to take this as he throws it towards him. He sees it's a ring, saying that he must be giving this to him because he isn't familiar with fighting demons. He thanks him, saying that he won't forget this, as he will tell the king about this as well. But we see him starting to lose all of his holy power in almost an instant, and Shuri screams. Isaac and Whisper, though, are super happy, and Isaac says this only makes sense because the prince had the most holy power. Shuri wonders where his uncle found such a monster. The kids now start trying to organize their defense, saying they need to gather in one place, and they have to use a holy defense art. One of the kids says hell, use it first, but another one says to get behind him. The gatekeepers come in with an attack, telling the kids to accept their punishment. But the kid puts up his barrier, telling the other one to attack it as he goes to prepare his holy Rasengan. He instead falls over directly onto the floor, and the other kid wonders what's going on. Of course, we know it's because the kid just had all of his holy powers taken away because of the ring, as it happens to him immediately after, and he falls to his knees. The gatekeeper is surprised and confused, wondering what the hell is going on here, wondering where the other ones or that fell for the lie. As we see the ring floating away, Whisper says they have absorbed the holy power of everyone on the side. Isaac says now it's time for the other one. Whisper says of course. As we see the kids fighting the gatekeeper, they, of course, fall one after the other. Isaac says hopefully they don't feel so bad about this as the lying doll stops attacking you once you go down. It's better for him to take their holy power and knock them out than for them to end up getting hurt. Whisper says he's almost done. As there's a giant attack being prepared, we see the monster get zapped to high hell, which surprises Whisper because he gets caught up in the crossfire, and he bounces across the floor, as we hear a familiar voice saying that he finally found him, and it's none other than Kina making his appearance. Isaac says he was wondering where he was, but it turns out he was just here. Sure, he says that he's always been called a genius, but this kid is on a whole new level because being able to summon a holy spirit at this age is a different beast than being good at holy arts. Kina says he was surprised that there was another person that could take down a demon. Or maybe he led the other kids into a trap like he did in the first chamber. But the other kids get up saying no, and that Isaac did this while trying to do the trial for them, and he even told them which way to go, saving them. Isaac says these kids are not right in the head. Even Whisper says that these kids must be experiencing some kind of Stockholm syndrome. Kina asks what they mean by saved, asking if they're not embarrassed to call themselves saint candidates, to think they really believe themselves to have been saved by a baby. They say that Kina was right behind the rest of them, asking why he thinks he has the right to say anything, as he didn't do shit when the traps were found. That Isaac is way more of a saint than him, as all the other kids now start ganging up on this. Isaac and Shuri watch. Shuri tries telling them that they were right, and the kids actually the devil. As they continue yapping, the ground begins shaking, and they turn, all to look up in fear, as there is a giant golden orb that floats up from underneath the sky. They all look up at it, saying that's the gate to the third chamber, which means they are done here with the second one. A voice congratulates them all, completing the second chamber, saying that they are the last gatekeeper of the Treasury, telling them to choose, asking if they're going to pick their treasure here and finish the test, or face a trial and enter the third chamber. They go to say they'll pick the third chamber, but the voice tells them to pick carefully, asking if they're going to finish here or face another trial. The voice asks again, but warns them if they pass the trial, they've discovered the treasure of the third chamber. However, if they do not pass the trial, they will die instead. Whisper says that the mana he feels from the Guardian's voice, he can tell what it is. Isaac says he does too, and it's a dragon, which is one he hasn't seen in a while, and it must be true that failure will lead to death. The kids say they're still going to go to the third chamber, as getting here was too hard to give up. If they can take the treasure, they can be saints. All of the kids start agreeing on this, and the dragon says that they don't seem to understand that they are risking death to face this trial, but it will not deny their wishes, telling them to go ahead and face it. Then Isaac and Whisper start to look excited, while everyone else looks scared. The dragon says to those who have gathered here to become a saint. As it slams down into the ground, it tells them that it's here to face a trial. The last trial is actually probably the most simple they've come across thus far. And they all have to just choose to worship God or not, as we see a statue of God in front of them. They're surprised that it's yet again another statue, and they say it's actually the statue of the supreme God. The dragon continues, saying they need to show their respect to God. The kids ask if it's really that simple, saying that there's gotta be a catch because it's supposed to be a trial. Isaac's just pissed, asking what kind of bullshit this is, and there's no way he's gonna kneel in front of this bastard, as this is the one who messed with him for hundreds of years and made him a skeleton in the first place. One of the kids walks forward, saying if it's just praying to the supreme God, then he should just do it. He gets on one knee, saying that he is worthy of all glory and honor, and that his servant worships him. The dragon says he has learned well, and he may pass. The kid gets excited, and the rest say that they guess it really is just as simple as praying and going next. Isaac jumps off Shuri's head and starts to run away, as Shuri says he just needs to pray. Isaac kicks him in the leg, asking if he thinks he's crazy, and he looks up above him as Kina is walking forward. As praying is taught by the Holy Church, he tells the rest to watch carefully, and he says this is the proper way to worship the God. The rest say they want to do it too, and they all join him as he begins praying. One of the kids looks confused. The dragon asks what he's doing, and if he's not going to pray, which means to choose death instead. The kids start saying they'll do it, and then the dragon notices something, asking Isaac why he's not kneeling. Isaac says it would be insane to kneel, and the rest wonder why he's doing it and if he has some issue with his faith, saying that it must be true that Ashwa has slowly been losing faith. Shuri says he should stop sullying their name and just pray, and Kina smiles, saying this will all be recorded, asking if he wants his saint candidate position taken away, saying no matter how talented he is, it's over if he has no faith, and he was concerned over nothing. The dragon says the child of the saintess is acting disrespectfully, and Isaac says so what, and he'd rather die than kneel in front of this thing. He tells it to just kill him then, as he starts to feel very intense pressure, as the dragon begins to release some serious killing intent towards the children, saying that those who disrespect him will die. Isaac says fuck you and to do it then, and that he's just going to destroy the statue. Whisper tells him it's dangerous, as Isaac starts to imbue magic in his hand to destroy it. All of the killing intent immediately leaves. As the dragon says he's outstanding, Isaac is just dumbfounded, so is Whisper, as it tells him he has passed and can move on to the third chamber. Kina and the rest are confused, asking what it's talking about, as they said he needed to show piety to pass, so how can he do that without praying? The dragon says the only one here who has the right to go into the third chamber is that little baby, as that child is the only one who showed his faith in God. Isaac is completely clueless, and the dragon asks if they don't understand they did not kneel to God, but they bowed to a statue, asking if their faith tells them to bow down to idols. The rest are surprised. Sure, he says that even if it's in the form of their god, a statue is still an idol, and that it was just a trick. Some of the kids start saying that there are some texts that mention not bowing down to statues. And the dragon tells them to all take note from Isaac, as even in the face of death, he did not lose his faith, and he alone has the right to enter the third chamber. Isaac starts playing it off and Whisper laughs at him. But Kina looks pissed, saying that this is unacceptable. He walks forward, saying that the baby can't even speak, so there is no way to tell if he refused to kneel because of his faith. Whisper says he's only yapping out of anger now, but he's right. Isaac says he knows, and Kina continues, saying if that child has that much faith, how could he not have a stigmata? The rest of the kids are confused, asking how he wouldn't have one when they all do, and Kina starts to laugh. He says among all of the saint candidates, he is the only one without one, and that becoming a saint without it is just impossible. The dragon says that he's quite curious, but it's only because he's a baby. They're confused, wondering what he means. The dragon starts picking his nose, saying that a little baby doesn't have to get one yet. Kina says that doesn't make any sense, asking if he could move the entire time. The dragon tells him that babies don't need one, and he's telling them now, asking if they think he's lying. The other kids say they should let them in too, because even a child without a stigmata is going in, and they should be allowed access solely because they have one. The dragon says they should know that a stigmata doesn't show up just because they're great, asking if they all feel strongly about this, saying surely they all want to enter the third chamber, and they say of course. It then thinks about it, saying if they all feel that way then fine, and they can also go into the third chamber. They all look relieved. Sure, he understands there's something bigger here, as there's no way it would be this straightforward. The dragon continues, saying if they really wish to fly into the flame like moths, then so be it. As it starts to completely disappear, the door behind it opens and a severe pressure comes out of it, to the point that the kids begin choking. The dragon asks if they feel it now, that the demonic energy from the body of the skeleton king alone has this much power, and they don't know their place. The dragon was going to spare the weaklings who couldn't withstand the energy, but this is something they've all chosen, as it gave them the right to do so. Isaac smiles, saying this is it, and his body is so close, and that he'll be able to get all of his power back. Isaac says he never thought he would see it again after he self-destructed into the divine realm, and to look at all that mana pouring out. As he starts drooling, the rest of the kids look scared, and the dragon tells them to take note of his courageous, warrior-like face. They say, courageous, my ass, and he looks like a demon, asking what the hell is wrong with him. The dragon then tells them that it is not too late, and if they are not a warrior who could smile in the face of death like that child, then to leave. If they turn back now, he will allow them to pick their treasure from the second chamber. Shuri asks how the hell they are supposed to break through all this demonic energy, and the other kids say they should go back as they might die in there, and they can just choose the best items in the second chamber. Kina says he does not need treasures from the second chamber, and that he wants to advance with everyone else into the third, and to please activate all of the traps in the third chamber. Everybody calls him crazy, and the dragon asks if that is truly what he wishes for. Kina says that no past saint or saintess was able to bring back the skeleton kings. The dragon says it seems like he knows something about the third chamber, and Kina smiles, saying that Saintess Melissa would never let children die, so this must be the countermeasure she prepared to prevent their deaths. He does not wish for others to say that he chose the easy way out, so please set the third chamber to its normal difficulty mode. Only then will they have surpassed the saintess. Isaac says this kid has a few screws loose. It's the pot calling the kettle black. The dragon says if that is his wish, it shall listen. In fact, it will make it easier to find the true saint among all of the candidates. As the pressure from Isaac's corpse starts to leave, the kids tell Kina that he should have just gone on his own, asking why he dragged them all into this. As they are now all taken into the room, we see a skeleton hand sticking out of a giant treasure of gold. The pressure then returns as the kids start to feel awful, and Isaac, on the other hand, is excited, saying it's almost like the demon realm in here. Whisper then points something out to Isaac, telling him to take a look, as he tells him to look towards the skeleton hand. Whisper says that it's his original body. Isaac says how he forgot how handsome his bones were, and he can't wait to get his body back, as it must have slowly absorbed power inside this chamber. The kids ask if that's really the Skeleton King's corpse, and if this much demonic energy came from a single hand. Isaac says that's not from his hand, but rather his thumb, and that must be the only actual fragment here, as the rest is a replica. As it continues swirling out as demonic energy, a demon starts to form out from it, and this thing looks like a goat thing. The kids start to panic, wondering if the second chamber's gatekeeper wasn't the only demon. The dragon says that the child asked for all of the safety measures to be undone, but Isaac recognizes it, as the demon puts its foot on the ground and calls them little pests, asking how dare they covet the king's body, and lets out a roar. They start blaming Kinna, saying it's his fault, asking what he's going to do now, and he tells them to trust him, and hell make sure everyone leaves with the treasure in hand. This is one of the 14 elite demons, the most trusted subordinates of the Skeleton King, but it was a moron that was captured by the papal house. Before this, he studied and prepared a holy art to deal with it, so this treasure is guaranteed his. His eyes start to glow golden, and he yells, telling the demon to kneel while releasing hella holy aura. The demon screams from this, and the kids are surprised, saying that the light of House Papal is insane. Kinna mistakes it as if it was guaranteed, and says all he has to do is take the Skeleton King's hand, but the demon asks if it's him and sends a shiver down his spine, as it crouches down into a sprinting stance. Kinna is surprised, and the demon asks if he is the one who is coveting his body. It jumps to the entrance of the Treasury, as all the parents are wondering what's happening inside, and they even lost contact with the demon familiar they had set up. The guy who was using his summon tells them that this is the worst case scenario, and the demon in the third chamber has been unsealed. Simon says that's one of the 14 elite demons, and Riley sweats nervously, wondering what's going on, seeing that everyone is in danger. They start to panic, asking what the elders are doing, that are meant to monitor the chamber, and they were meant to turn off the traps that were activated and have been missing ever since, which means the children are in grave danger, as there's no way the children can handle that demon. They must stop the ritual immediately. The portal behind them starts to open, and it's bright enough to blind them all, as they wonder what's going on. Riley wonders why the treasury is opening, saying this intense light only means one thing. The man says that everyone needs to step away as demonic energy may leak out and is dangerous, but one of the elders says to wait a moment, as he can't sense the demon's aura. They wonder if they defeated the elite demon, and we see her smiling, saying that Kinna did it. Riley says that one of the children inside must have handled it by themselves. Simon wonders who it could be, and all the people say that it was most definitely Kinna. As he has the Pope's blood, Riley looks anxious, and they all start preemptively congratulating Shuri, saying that no wonder Kinna was the most favored saint candidate. Shuri says it was all due to Kinna's hard work. He then glances over, wanting to see how Riley is doing, and he says those imbeciles of Ashwa dare challenge his authority, and now that the king's corpse has fallen into their hands, they have no choice but to bow down to them, and that their dignity and honor are all but gone. One of the elders yells, saying that the children have returned, and they all look at the children over to their side, and Riley is still just anxious about both Isaac and Shuri, as the children start to come out of the treasury. Some of the kids start running out, hugging their relatives, and Riley says they're hurt, but there are no serious injuries. That's good to know at least. Then the other people start wondering where the children who went into the third chamber are, saying that maybe something happened. Riley still looks very anxious, and one of the elders says that the last ones are coming out. They then turn and we see both Shuri and Paris. I might have called Amon Paris at some point, my bad. Simon and Goel both run over, and Goel hugs onto Shuri, and he says surely he's not hurt, asking if he's okay. Riley starts to fear the worst because Isaac's nowhere to be found. Every other kid is here but him. Shuri then calls out to Kinna, asking what's in his hand and where the body of the Skeleton King is. Kinna looks nervous, but Shuri looks pissed, asking who told him to bring this kind of garbage out, only for the golden light to appear behind them. It's the dragon that was presiding over the third trial, forming into the sky. One of the elders tells everybody to look over, as we see it has taken the form of a wolf and is carrying Isaac in its mouth. Riley looks up at him, and they wonder what the hell is going on. As Isaac smiles like the villain he is, Riley runs over, and so does Ashley. Ashley and Riley both recognize the wolf, saying that it is the young holy dragon that guards the treasury. Riley says she's right. That's exactly who it is, and it has the form of a wolf right now, but its energy indicates that it is definitely a holy dragon. The matriarch had a good relationship with the dragon and invited it into the treasury. Even just its presence is insane. But he wonders what that slurping sound is, and when he looks up, we see it's none other than Isaac with his old Buddhist thumb in his mouth. The rest immediately recognize what it is, as that's a part of the Skeleton King's body. They ask what the hell he is doing with that in his mouth. But some of them are excited, saying he actually brought back the corpse of the Skeleton King. Harry then calls out to Kina, who looks scared, asking if he gave the body away. Before Kina can say anything, Harry says it might not be the most brilliant plan, but letting the host save some face is a virtue that a saint must have after all. The dragon asks what kind of foolish talk that is, saying that this boy is the one who brought out the body of the Skeleton King to begin with. And Isaac starts emoting on them. The dragon calls them foolish. Harry is surprised. And I feel bad for Kina. I hope Harry gets humbled. We get a flashback to before, when his holy art wasn't working, and he was surprised because the demon was unfazed. As the demon started to insult him, it charged forward, rearing back and attacked to the children, and everybody but Kina ran away immediately. An explosion follows, and Kina looks up, a bit scared, and they all see there's a defensive barrier in front of them. They wonder what's going on, and they say if it's a blue holy art, that must mean only one thing, and it's none other than the little baby, and they're talking about Isaac. The demon starts yelling, asking how dare they go after his master's body, and he and Isaac start flying at one another, going for a trade-off. Isaac calls him a bastard while imbuing his hand with aura, saying that a dog who can't recognize his master needs to be put down. The elders say there's no way a dragon would lie, asking if the little Ashwa kid really was the one who brought the corpse back, and then they wonder what Kina did. Riley then tells the dragon that that was way too dangerous, as one of the 14 elite demons of the Skeleton King is way too much for a child to handle, asking why it broke the seal. The dragon laughs, saying that's a very simple answer, and it's because the little white-haired kid, Kina, asked him to break the seal. All the other kids corroborate his story, saying that he's right, and Kina told him to activate every single one of the traps and force them to go into the third chamber, and they almost died because of it. They can't believe that they almost died because of his recklessness. They ask how the child of the papal house could do that, and it could have been really bad if Isaac didn't take care of the demons. They say that this means that Isaac actually beat the little Barrett boy. Harry looks furious, as everybody starts complimenting Isaac. Riley and Ashley start to look very proud. Riley says that he's done great. The elders then walk up to the dragon, telling Isaac to spit out the bone, as it was dangerous, and to be a good little boy. Isaac slaps their hands away, saying to get that shit away from him, and they wonder why he's so strong. Isaac says this mana is so good, and it must be because of his survival origin. He's absorbing it so fast. One of the elders says that Isaac has outdone himself, and the matriarch will be overjoyed. Riley says he guesses so, and they smile, saying that now that they have that, they can finally track down the Skeleton King and find his soul using tracking arts. Isaac makes an O face, since that means Head have to fight Melissa again, saying this must be why they wanted to bring his body out so badly. They all start reaching towards Isaac, telling him to give it to them, and they want to use the tracking arts and go rip apart the Skeleton King. Isaac calls them crazy, and they say they can settle their 150-year-old grudge now. He swallows it, and they all look at him with some Looney Tunes eyes, and wonder what the hell is wrong with this freak. Even the dragon flies away, saying that he's crazy and never wants to see him again. Sometime later, back in their estate, the elders ask if they found it yet. A woman says she doesn't think it's here, and they start digging through his shit, trying to find the bone fragment. Isaac says they can search all they want, as they will not find it, and regardless, he's more concerned by what happened inside the treasury. Right after he collided with the demon, He sent it flying after denting its face in, and Head immediately recognized the mana as its master's. He says that he thought his world would end when he heard the news that his master passed away, but he always knew he would return to life, and he must serve his master before he can finish what he was saying about capture. It disappears, and Isaac says that it should have stayed longer to talk, as he has so many questions he wants to ask it. They said it was the papal house that captured them, and he should look more into this in the future. Riley holds a bottle in his face, telling him to please shit. Whisper laughs because they keep making him drink laxatives over and over, and he is finding it way too damn funny. Isaac says he's definitely going to destroy this family for this one day. The elder says that if the matriarch finds out about this, they may all be executed, and she might even cut Isaac's stomach open. Riley tells the elder to calm down, as it'll be okay. But they then say that she has cut open her own son before, but surely she'll go easy on a grandchild. Isaac asks what the hell is wrong with this family if she would do that to her own son. Whisper says that he thought Melissa went on a pilgrimage with the patriarch. Isaac says that is right, and it'll probably be a while before the pilgrimage ends, so he just needs to finish absorbing the mana and escape before she gets back. Goel then enters the room, telling Riley to come with him. Riley asks why, as Goel tells him that the matriarch is calling for him. Isaac is surprised by this, and Riley asks if Mother's already returned, as she's never been so fast from a pilgrimage. Isaac looks anxious, asking if it's because of him and that it's too dangerous because he is yet to absorb all of the mana, and knowing Melissa, she'll definitely cut his stomach open for this. A little later we see a bunch of treasure and the elders are surprised, asking if these are all really gifts just for Isaac. Riley sighs out of relief, saying that he thought the matriarch had already returned. Riley then calls them a chicken, saying that they just received a voice message from her that she is on her way back, and he never said that she was here. Isaac starts to get pissed because he just got toyed with, and the old faithful knight says that the papal house has also sent a tribute. The elders say to get that shit out of here and sell it to someone else's stolen goods. The knight says that the messenger from the papal house can hear them. Then he enters the room, saying that His Majesty the Emperor is showing a lot of interest in this incident, and he's come with a tribute to Houses Hua from the papal house as an apology and a sign of gratitude. But it seems their gifts do not match their taste. However, he's sure this will change their mind, as he slowly starts to open a jewelry box, and we see it shining. The Pope says this will be of great help to the young master. The elders are all surprised by this, and recognize it as an item called the Triple Crown. Isaac asks what the hell that is, and Whisper says it's a medal, a dirty little trinket engraved with the Pope's emblem. The elders start to wonder about what to do with the gift, and the messenger then tells Sir Riley to please accept it, as it belongs to Isaac. Riley is surprised, and he wonders why he's giving it to his uncle if it's his, and that he can just hand it to him directly. Riley asks if he truly told him to hand it over to him rather than Isaac. The messenger says yes, as he was ordered to hand it to Riley no matter what. Riley looks pissed by this, and the elder says how dare he give Isaac's medal to a family member, asking if he's in his right mind. Asking if he doesn't know what giving a medal to the family means, as it means that the recipient of the medal is deceased. Isaac and Whisper are both surprised that it has some kind of meaning like this, and the messenger says that they should not misunderstand His Holiness' intentions. They simply wish for him to hand it to a family member since Isaac is so young. The elder says that does not explain the ribbon, asking if he's really meant to believe that the papal house truly doesn't know that the sunflower is handed to fallen soldiers to honor their heroic deeds. Isaac says the Pope sure does have some balls of steel for this. The female elder says that they're being blatantly mocked because of their family curse. Goel tells them all to calm down, and the elder asks how the hell he's meant to do that. Goel says they are a representative of House Ashwa, and they might antagonize the papal house, and they mustn't let this escalate or bring trouble to the family. He never knew it was possible to make them know their place by giving them such a hateful gift. It must be the Pope's handiwork, and he may be from his maternal family, but even he's disgusted by this. But now Riley and the brat won't be able to run wild like they have been, which is good for him. I keep calling the Cardinal the Pope, my bad, I genuinely thought they were the same thing. Goel asks Riley what he's doing, saying that he needs to accept the gift and show his gratitude. Riley tries to warn him, but Goel says there's no need to make a fuss, and Isaac sighs, saying this won't do. He then raises his hand, and the messenger notices something inside of the jewelry box, as it begins to have a blue aura. His hands then begin to burn, and it catches fire, causing him to drop it and scream. Goel is surprised, and we learn why, because it's called the Holy Flame. They ask who would do such a thing, but the messenger looks terrified. They then turn towards Isaac, who's speaking Babel, and wonder if he really just did that. He isn't a saint, but a devil. If you've watched till the end, comment Saint to let me know. Subscribe for more videos like this. Leave a like or a comment to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.